It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
Ariel
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Hello again, everyone. And a very happy Victoria Day to all my fellow Canadians out there. Yes, the Monday before Memorial Day here in the United States is Victoria Day. Always a great time of the year. So if you're at home in the Great White North, nothing to do. It's probably really nice outside. Scorcher of a weekend here on the East Coast. I mean, it was fantastic. Give me 95, 365 out of the year. Give me 95, 96, 97. I'd love it. All these people complain, oh, the heat, oh, it's so hot, oh, I need AC. Give me 95, no AC, 365, and I am a happy man. So if it's nice up there in the Great White North, maybe you're out on the deck. Maybe you're at the cottage watching the program. We got a lot to get to on today's show, and I'm very excited about it. I'm really excited. Old school MMA fans will be excited about one guest in particular. You may be excited about all the guests, but there is one guest on this show, and we're doing a lot of good work over the last few weeks. You know, we had Shogun up here for the first time in his illustrious career on the program, and on today's show we have an absolute legend, the greatest of all time as far as the World Strongman contest is concerned. Of course, you know of Mariusz Pudzianowski. Nope. You know what? I've taught myself that we've been saying it wrong for the past 2 decades. Mariusz Pudzianowski. The W is a V in Polish. Mariusz Pudzianowski, legend, aka Mariusz Pudzianowski, Pudzin. You know this guy, freaking legend. I mean, the biggest mass of a human being that I've ever seen in my life. 5-time World Strongman champion. 5-time strongest man on the planet. 5 times. No one has ever done it. There's a few 4s. Of course, the great Magnus Vermagnusson, legend, but 5-time, and one of the faces of Polish MMA and one of the faces of KSW, competing this weekend in the main event of their event in Łódź, Poland, not Lodz, Poland, it's Łódź, Poland, KSW 70, against Michal Materla. This is a dream match for KSW fans. Materla, by the way, former middleweight champion, moving up to heavyweight, fighting in the main event, and you may be thinking to yourself, you know, there's not a lot of MMA this weekend. There's no UFC, there's no Bellator, there's no PFL, there's no, I don't know, there's no Invicta, there's no Cage Wars, there's no, you know, you get the point. Well, there's KSW. They're pretty much in focus. There's a great boxing event as well, Gervonta Tank Davis against Rolly Romero, but as far as MMA is concerned, it's KSW 70. So we will talk about KSW 70, and we are being honored by the presence of one Mariusz Pudzianowski joining us on the show. I'm very excited about this. When I was younger, I would watch the World's Strongest Man competition on TSN. They would play it over and over again. And to be in the presence of a legend like Mariusz is a really big deal. 16-7. I don't think anyone thought that he would last this long. In fact, he's now been an MMA fighter longer than he's been a World Strongman. How about that? So that will happen at the back end of the show. And as always, we'll check in with the guys. We've got GC in the house. We've got NewYorkRic in the house. We got to recap the picks, a few notes on the picks in a moment. And as always, we are presented by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are the official sports betting partner of the MMA Hour and the UFC. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use code the MMA Hour for a special offer when you sign up. Again, that's code the MMA Hour. Very important. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Stay tuned for that. Also, in the second hour, we're going to be joined by the reigning defending UFC light heavyweight champion, one Glover Teixeira. He returns to action on June 11th. The light heavyweight division has been in focus as of late. Of course, with the fight last weekend between Jan Blachowicz. You see, the W is actually a V, Blachowicz. I've been working on my posture lately, but I should have told the team this earlier because I like to sit up. Jan Blachowicz and Alexander Rakic. We know about that story. We spoke to them last week about the knee injury, and Jan says he wants a title shot, he wants the rematch, all that stuff. So that will happen at 2:30. We'll talk to Glover about his first title defense, going to Singapore, June 11th, UFC 275, defending the title against Jiri Prochazka, the Singapore Indoor Stadium, big-time event over there, 2 title fights on the card. And the other title fight has the women's flyweight champion, one Valentina Shevchenko. We have not talked to her in quite some time. She will also be on the champion. So 2 UFC champions on the show today. Where else do you get that type of content, that type of prestige, that type of quality guests, if you ask me? Valentina Shevchenko obviously going up against Taila Santos, another defense of her. And in my opinion, after the Amanda Nunes loss, she is the number 1 pound-for-pound female fighter on the planet. So we got the female pound-for-pound queen, Valentina Shevchenko, the pride of Kyrgyzstan, at 205, Glover at 230. Chase Hooper will join us. He had a big win this weekend. Always love talking to Chase. In fact, the last time I spoke to Chase, I was doing a show with Ben Askren, and he popped in, and he pretended to be Ben Askren's son, and I totally missed it. And I actually thought it was Ben Askren's, like, illegitimate son or something like that. I forget how he set it up. He said he had a son that he just found out about, and he popped in. I wasn't wearing glasses. I was like, wow, this guy kind of looks, or this kid kind of looks like Ben Askren. In the end, it wasn't Ben Askren's son. Yeah, I mean, if there ever was an appropriate time to play that sound, thank you, Frank. It was in that moment, because I really blew it. But I'm looking forward to talking to Chase. He looked very good over the weekend. Got his first bonus in the UFC. Got back on track. He had lost his last fight, and he comes back 11 months later, and he picks up a very impressive win via TKO over Felipe Colares. Now, there was a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. Want to talk about a few things. Obviously, there's the Anderson Silva fight exhibition sort of win in the UAE. Floyd Mayweather competed as well. We could talk about Floyd Mayweather and Anderson and Jake Paul and all that stuff if we want. But we have to start with the UFC event. The main event was Holly Holm versus Ketlen Vieira. Ketlen Vieira won. Hotly contested fight, close fight. She wins via split decision. And I know a lot of you, including myself, thought that Holly won. Now, this is, again, one of those cases where it wasn't a robbery per se. I think it was a close fight, but I think most people, especially in MMA media, who tend to, I feel like we kind of pay attention to these things, and maybe we like to pat each other on the back, but I feel like we tend to score these relatively correctly. And shout out to the great website MMAdecisions.com. They tally up a bunch of these. Never tallied mine, but that's okay. I don't really do it that regularly, so I'm not offended or anything. But I think the vast majority, if not all of the media, had it scored in favor of Holly Holm. Pretty much came down to that third round, and 2 judges scored it for Vieira, 1 for Holm. That was the judge who scored the entire fight for Holm, 48-47. Holly was very upset afterwards. Close fight. And as is often the case in these moments, we tend to break down, complain, criticize the judging rather than the fight itself. Could Holly have done anything differently? What did Ketlen do? Could she have done anything differently to seal the deal? All that stuff and more. This was this is one thing that isn't really being talked about, a costly loss for Holly Holm on multiple fronts. That was the second to last fight on Holly Holm's contract. She now has 1 fight left. She has been very vocal about the fact that she wants to fight for the belt again one day. She wants to fight for that 135-pound title one more time before she calls it a UFC career. I don't know, other than signing a new deal as a 41-year-old, I don't know how she gets to that title fight at this point now with the loss, right? If Juliana would have won and Holly would have won, I could have seen them do a Holly Holm versus Juliana Pena fight and sign Holly to a new deal. If Amanda wins, they're not going to run it back with Holly. And if Juliana wins, well, now Ketlen has the win over Holly. They're going to probably give it to her. So she's in a tough spot. Not only does it put her in a tough spot in the UFC, there's been some talk, renewed interest in that super fight, that dream fight between her and Katie Taylor. Taylor has talked about it. Taylor has talked about it for years. Her manager has talked about it. Her promoter has talked about it. And Holly has now warmed up to it. And I know Holly's team wants it or is interested in it as well. I don't think it hurts that fight as much as maybe the title shot in the UFC, because this will, if they did somehow figure out how to do Katie versus Holly Holm, it will be really based on Holly's previous boxing career, pitting it against Katie, who is the greatest 35er of all time, all that stuff. She's going into the Boxing Hall of Fame next month. So it doesn't hurt it, but it does slow the momentum a little bit. Now, she didn't get schooled. A lot of us thought she won. She didn't get knocked out, anything like that. But it does kind of, a win is a win, right? It does kind of slow it down. So a very costly loss, Speaking of costly losses, the Helwani Dog of the Week unfortunately suffers another loss. That's now 3 weeks in a row. I'm at peace with this one, if I'm being honest. We picked Santiago Ponzinibbio, as you all remember, and he loses to Michel Pereira. And, we could admit when we suffered defeat, Pereira deserved to win that fight, 29-28. I thought he won the first 2 rounds rather convincingly, rocked Ponzinibbio a bunch of times. Wasn't exactly the most technical affair, rather sloppy, but he nailed him with some massive shots. And actually, I was surprised a few times that Ponzinibbio didn't go down. Now, I thought Ponzinibbio rebounded quite nicely and won the third, but it was too little too late. I have no idea how Pereira makes 170. The guy's gigantic on the scales, a 170-pounder, and then he's gigantic the next day when fighting. It looks like he's like 200 pounds when he's in there. Just his body's massive compared to these other welterweights. But that's now 3 in a row. I like the pick. I felt confident about the pick. But Pereira has looked good as of late. And he's now a bit of a player at 170. Called out Jorge Masvidal afterwards, brought up the DM thing. Masvidal comes back with the all-time greatest, receipt showing that he was actually responding to his wife. A bit of a weird one. Wife comes out. We could get into all of that as well. But I want to get back to the judging stuff and the scoring stuff. And I know you all are waiting for me to go on some kind of rant here about open scoring and how it would, do X, Y, and Z. And so there's a few things that I want to just get off my chest. And then I want to ask GC and NewYorkRic about this as well. Number one, I have never said, this is starting to actually kind of piss me off. I have never, ever said that open scoring would fix judging. I have never said that. I have never sat here on any other show and said that open scoring would fix judging. Because I see a lot of people saying like, nah, we need to get better judges. That would fix judging. I'm like, yeah, of course. Of course we need better judges. Of course we need judges who understand how to score MMA fights based on what the rules stipulate. Of course, it would be great to have fighters and coaches and broadcasters who understand that. I have never said that, turn the light on, open scoring. Now all of a sudden, there'll be no controversies. There'll be no drama. There'll be no debate. I've never said that. Ever. Absolutely never. Produce that piece of content for me. You won't find it. I've never said that. What I have said is, and I will reiterate this perhaps in a little more clear way, I believe that the reason why open scoring would be great would be for a few reasons. Number one, it's a bridge to improving the judging, because open scoring to me is all about accountability. It's all about, all right, if you aren't doing your job, if you aren't on the hot seat, if you aren't scoring fights the right way, if you aren't looking at the right type of thing, well, when does the accountability come? It comes in 15 seconds at the end of a fight, and then they shoo everyone out, and then it's on to the next one, right? That's what they typically do. Well, if it's happening in the middle of a fight, and if it's a 3-round fight, it probably only happens once. If it's happening in a title fight, and maybe it happens twice then, well, now there's a little more focus, just like there is in other sports when there's bad officiating, on the bad judging. And perhaps that focus, that pressure, that accountability would lead to improvement. Now, at the end of the day, they brought in these new rules, the new unified rules. Some of the states use different things. It's all very confusing. Another thing I have said in the past is, hey, if we had a national commission and everyone was using the same rules and everyone came together and there were seminars and there were, you update everyone and you go through these conferences and all this stuff. None of this is really being done. California does a great job every month. They have this little Zoom session and people come together. But there isn't enough of that being done. And so the only reason why I advocate for the open scoring is I feel, at the very least, like the fighters should know where they stand. If they're going to get screwed, if they're going to be misjudged, at least let them know where they stand. Now, I saw people over the weekend be like, well, it wouldn't have mattered in the Holly Holm-Caitlin Vieira fight because she won the 5th round, Holly did. Well, maybe if she found out that she lost the 3rd round, maybe she does something different in the 4th and 5th. I don't know. There's a lot of people that want to poke holes in the open scoring thing, but never really offer anything other than, well, the judging needs to be changed, or the judges need to be changed, or they need to bring in new judges. Guess what? I have been watching and covering MMA professionally since 2006. There ain't a lot of new refs or judges being brought into this game. It's a lot of the same dudes. In fact, I would say the ones in the UK probably are doing a better job of, freshening things up a little bit. But if we're being honest, it's a lot of the same officials. Look at them. Look at the names. Look at the faces. It's a lot of the same ones. So there isn't like this, conveyor belt of talent being brought in. And of course, we've talked about how it's a thankless job and they don't get paid all that much and all that stuff. I get all of that. So what's one way that we can bridge the gap to that improvement? Because yes, I agree. They should get better. It should all be improved. Well, one quick-ish fix is just make it all out in the open. Just let the world know what's going on in real time and let the fighters know if they're about to be screwed. Let them have a say in the matter. Let them be able to change their fate as opposed to end of the fight, you couldn't do anything about it, you got screwed, thank you, here's your half a pay. And it got me thinking about the Derek Brunson tweets of last week where he talked about the USADA app and he talked about how, I'm being, this app sucks and I have to tell them where I am 24/7 and this is crazy. And I responded to it a little bit like, could you imagine being an independent contractor, meaning someone who comes to your house, your gardener, right? Your I don't know, your guy who fixes your cable, your guy who fixes your broken sink, your plumber, whatever, your handyman. Can you imagine being that guy and coming to your house, twice a year, 3 times a year, but having to tell me what you're doing for 365, having to update your whereabouts 365 because you did 2 or 3 jobs for me. I'm only paying you 2 to 3 times a year, but you got to tell me where you are at all time. And oh, by the way, you got to wear a uniform when you come to my house. You got to do what I say. You can't come in wearing this type of clothes. You can't do. No, it doesn't work. That's not how life works. And I know that you're going to say like, oh, what does one have to do with the other? What it has to do with the other is the lack of say that these men and women have in their careers. The only real thing that they have in terms of what they can determine and say for themselves is who's coaching them. Because guess what? Even management is sometimes a problem. UFC will say, we don't like your manager. We're not dealing with them. You have to get someone new. Or we're going to go around you. Or we're going to bring in someone else to fix this issue. It's really just the people in your corner. They can't wear what they want. You can't even hold a flag at this point. You don't even know where you stand as far as your score is concerned, your fight is concerned. Almost every step of the way, they don't have a say. They have no say in the matter. And so what I would like, that's why I talk about open scoring, is just give more of that power to the fighters, just a little bit more of that power. And that's why I think Invicta deserves a lot of credit. And that's why I think Kansas deserves a lot of credit. Colorado deserves a lot of credit. And you'll sit here and be like, oh, the WBC does it. Well, show me the MMA promotions that are doing it. Those are different sports. Those are, okay, fine. And show me the fights in boxing where they've done it, where it's drastically changed it, where it's made it that much worse. Oh, you could pick out little examples here. Out of hundreds upon thousands of fights, you could pick up little examples here. Show me the major MMA events that have tried this, that have tried to improve, that have tried to evolve, that have tried to get better, and it hasn't worked. Just show me that. Rather than saying, no, it's not going to work. We need better judges. All right, well, when's that going to happen? In 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Well, until then, what are we going to do? Just sit around and bellyache about this? Sit around and just let fighters get screwed, especially when they only get half their purse if they get screwed? Would you rather that? Ultimately, at the end of the day, open scoring or not, I just want you all to be very clear about one thing. As long as there's a 10-point must system, there's always going to be controversial decisions. This is a boxing, we've been talking about this on this show for over a decade now. This is a boxing scoring system. It's always going to be controversial. It's always going to be somewhat debatable. Always, without a doubt. It's a boxing scoring system that has been implemented into a sport that is very different than boxing. And now the big thing that everyone wants to talk about is damage. But this ain't a video game where like there's a meter and every time someone gets hit and is damaged, their color goes down. That in its own right is very subjective. It's very hard to score MMA fights based on the criteria and based on the scoring system. It's damn near impossible. So it is a thankless job and it is a tough job. And what I want is accountability. That's all. Let it be out there in the open. Let the fighters know. And I've asked enough over the last few months. I would think my guy Jedi provided me with some of the names that said that they were open to it. Rockhold, Matt Brown, Wonderboy, Whitaker, Bisping, Eddie Hearn, Canelo Alvarez, Tyson Fury, Corey Sandhagen, Cub Swanson, MVP, Carlos Barza. Ally Quinta said, nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. And so that got me thinking about something. See, again, I'm trying to adapt. I'm trying to evolve. I don't want to just sit here and parrot the same freaking thing over and over again like a lot of you out there. And I'm not sitting here and throwing shade at everyone like everyone loves to throw shade at me. I see you all with your little tweets and your little thing. It's fine. We can have different opinions on things. But all right, I go back to the lab and I say, all right, how can we make this better? How can we come to a middle ground? How can we get this to the spot until they improve the judging, until they improve the judges, until maybe, God willing, one day they actually improve the scoring system that has never been right for MMA. How can we come to a middle ground? So I want to propose something to GC and NewYorkRic. Can we bring these guys up here for a second? Okay, so this is what I'd like to propose. How are you doing, guys? Good to see you again. Happy Monday.
Let's just get into it. Skip the formalities and the pleasantries.
Okay, this is it. This is it. I'm not talking about changing the rules. I'm not talking about changing the scoring. I'm not talking about changing the criteria. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Let's say there's 12 fights at UFC 275, right? Friday, after they weigh in, okay, they go to the back, they do the medicals. Let's say I'm Mr. Commissioner in Singapore. It's probably the UFC in charge. You get what I'm saying? Arizona, yep. Vegas, Nevada, New York, Florida. And let's say the fight is Valentina Shevchenko versus Taila Santos. I'm going to go up to Valentina Shevchenko and say, all right, you understand this is a 5-round fight, 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. Yes? You're aware of this? Yes. Are you in favor of open scoring? She says, yeah, I would like open scoring. Big fight, a lot at stake, cool. I'm going to go to Taila Santos. Taila Santos, big fight, 25 minutes, 5 rounds, da-da-da. Are you in favor of open scoring for this fight? Would you like open scoring for this fight? She says yes, we got a deal. She says no, no open scoring. And so what I'm basically saying is go to every single fight on the card and ask them. And if they both agree, use it for that fight. And if they both, one says yes, one says no, now it's off the table. I'm sorry, you couldn't come to an agreement. The two opponents have to agree. And if they both want it, because I can guarantee you more often than not, see the I Quinta thing really, because I really respect him, sold you a great house, legend. No, I was like, all right, fine. There's one guy. There's literally the first guy. Oh, what if we go? Show me another guy. Who else has been saying? I see Joe Ban tweeting me. All these guys. Come, Ricky Simone. You come to the fighters and you say, all right, do you agree? If they both agree, let's go.
So I don't hate this.
I fixed it. I fixed judging. Frank, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Thank you. I fixed judging. I fixed it. Yes.
I think there's two things. First of all,
great idea.
I got so much to say. Two things. One,
great
didn't
idea,
fix
Ariel.
judging because judging and open scoring are two very separate things. They have to be thought of as separately. I don't agree.
Which I
that
also
one
said
solves the other.
I said that, right?
But you just said you solved judging.
Well,
we're gonna rewind a little bit.
Right.
Two, I don't hate it as somebody who is not in favor of open scoring. I don't like open scoring. I do think it eliminates drama. Again, we can get into the debate on that. But to address your
that's
point,
not looking at the fighter's perspective.
I'm not.
Okay.
I am not. I'm looking only at the
selfish.
entertainment perspective. Yes, me. But I am open to that idea that you've just proposed. But I would go one step further and ask, why does it have to be an agreed upon thing? Why can't one fighter have the score told to them and one fighter not? Why do we have to have consensus between the two fighters? Why not just say, hey, Valentina, do you want to know the score after each round? Yes. Great. Tell Valentina the score after each round. Taila, you don't want to? We're not going to tell you. Why does it even have to be?
So how are they going to tell her? They're just going to say in her corner?
Yeah, tell her corner between rounds. Hey,
in this world, do the fans get to know?
Well, you see, that's where it gets interesting. I actually don't hate what you just said.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the fans don't really matter in this equation because they're watching the fight.
Well, your intention, your whole argument and the basis of this is for the fighters to have that knowledge, not necessarily the crowd.
Care less about the crowd.
I am proposing, why not just let the individual fighter decide?
I'm in. I just want it to be a fair sort of,
give them both the chance, but only if you don't want it. If you're Ally Quinta, right? If you're Ally Quinta and you say, I don't want to know, I just want to go in there, bite down on my mouthpiece and throw, then you don't have to. Now, it will change, as to GC's point, like you're not going to show necessarily the info in the arena. as the scorecards go, but that fighter still has that knowledge. You can tell them in their corner, hey, you're down 2 rounds. It doesn't change a thing for anybody in that case.
What do you think, GC?
Ariel, you would be just as happy in this situation if only the fighters got to know and the fans didn't find out at all.
Listen, if the fighters know, I think it would make sense because I actually do agree. But yes, to answer your question, yes, but I actually disagree with NewYorkRic in that I actually think it makes it more compelling. If you have a 3-round fight, and at the end, I would say in a 3-round fight, you only do it once after the second. I would even argue in a 5-round fight, just do it maybe once, maybe twice max, not after every round. And that score flashes, it's so funny. Like, I wish I could talk to DC right now. I'd be like, wait, you, Daniel Cormier, who comes from a sport where there's actual scoring, where you know exactly where you stand in the Olympic Games, you don't want open scoring? How could that be? He said yesterday he doesn't like open scoring. Fine, I get it's a little bit different. But yes, ultimately, it's about the fighters. I'm the only one in this whole freaking game that cares about the fighters. I said it, the only one. I care more about the fighters than the fighters themselves. You guys have to update an app to let the world know where you are, let the promotion know where you are. And guess what? You know what's the best part? The actual employees of said organization don't even have to do that. This is something that an employee should have to do. Do employees of the UFC have to update an app where they are at all times? But the independent contractors do? Do you guys realize how fucked up that is?
But it's to keep the fighters from not cheating. It's not like
I don't care about the steroid use of anybody else in the UFC.
Anyone at the UFC.
Has that been collectively bargained?
I agree with you.
Has that been decided upon?
But here's where I think your argument can have holes poked in it, and I don't think it's on the merit of it. I don't think it's on the basis. You are combining and conflating so many things. You are mixing up too many.
I already
things
said at the beginning, open scoring doesn't fix judging. I'm just trying to get us a bridge
when you
to
make
that.
These arguments, you decided to make this argument on the back of a controversial judging decision. They're not related.
Honestly,
they are not related. It does not fix it.
This wasn't a controversial. It was a close fight. It just comes up every week. So today everyone's all up in my mentions. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork.
To remain separate if you're going to make an argument that is not going to get confused. And I understand why people are not understanding your argument because again, we're mixing in.
They're not listening.
Now we're mixing in the collective bargaining and the drug testing. These things are all related. They are all related. They're not the same argument, and they need to be separated. And otherwise, it will continue to be confused.
The point is, the fighters don't have a say in the matter.
That's the umbrella point. That's the overarching.
And so
point.
Now I'm giving you different examples where they don't have a say.
And I agree with
drug
that.
Testing,
the fighters
judging,
should have a say in all this.
Sponsors.
I agree with that. But
no one seems to care. I care about the entertainment. No, you don't. You just said entertainment. You couldn't care less.
Okay, let me ask you this, and this is for the entertainment. Every sport, basketball, football, baseball, wrestling, whatever sport you're talking about, it is a combination of two things, competitive athletics and entertainment. They are not divorced from each other. It is the combination. Even pro wrestling, right? Pro wrestling is high on the entertainment scale, low on the competition scale because it's predetermined outcomes, right? I'm talking about professional wrestling, not amateur wrestling. Basketball, good combination of the two, right? Entertainment product, but clear rule set, things like that. There is a sliding scale of both of those things, entertainment and sports competitiveness that happens in all of these sports. In MMA, we are higher on the entertainment scale than we are on the competitive sports scale than, let's say, basketball. I'm in agreement, and I can readily admit to you that there is a disservice to the fighter by not knowing the score. But I am, as the consumer of this product, and the organization, in the case of the UFC that is putting on the product, willing to take that, willing to accept that reality of the situation and produce the product that fans enjoy. So I am willing to go with that. If the fighters tomorrow, all of them, came out and said, we demand open scoring, I relent. Great. Take it.
By the way, we've got a running tally right now of the vast majority of the UFC roster saying
we'll just hang on to Al. We'll just hang on to Al and we'll keep our entertainment. But my point is, there is an acceptable level of entertainment in all of these sports that the rules are altered to be entertaining. That is just a reality. Not everything is purely for the benefit of the athlete. There is no sport that is just purely for the benefit of the athlete.
Is there one thing that happens in the UFC that is the benefit of the athlete? I can't think of one thing. I can't think of one thing.
But I also think with open scoring, it can still. I almost think that open scoring can create more exciting matches.
Yes.
Sometimes when you get the confirmation going, especially in a 3-round fight.
Yes.
When you know it's 1-1 going into round 3.
I couldn't agree more. They flashed that score on the scoreboard. Everyone's like, "Oh snap!" She lost that round. It's 1-1.
Like it's tied. Here's
where that
Everyone
argument
always
falls
loves
apart.
to bring up the negative. What about the positive?
Here's where that argument falls apart. We have open scoring. There are places there are organizations and jurisdictions that have had open scoring.
Yeah, and when
this
has it
not
failed?
happened?
When has it failed?
What do you mean failed? Like
Meaning-
nobody is cheering in the crowd when the score gets flashed.
Yeah, guess
it just
what?
doesn't
Because it's
happen.
With all due
It does
respect
not
to
happen.
Invicta, there's 12 people in the crowd.
Boxing fights, MMA fights, there is no uproar. And the fighters aren't fighting harder. There is no evidence to show that this happens. There's zero.
Yeah, there's also
none.
no evidence in those sports that you can freaking punch a guy when he's out. Like, these sports are different. You can't
Wait, no, I'm talking about
But there's also no
MMA.
evidence that it ruins it.
The only
Like that
the only
open
main
scoring's
promotion that
bad.
does it is Invicta at this point. Oh, Combate does it a little bit, but
Yeah, Combate says
there's no one
What?
there.
So why are we not looking at those examples though? Why are we not looking to them and saying, okay, it hasn't materially affected the
Negatively as well, though. You have
I
to say
agree.
negatively.
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not.
I'm
saying-
with you on that.
So your reason to make a change is because it hasn't negatively or positively affected
I'm trying to
anything?
improve. No, I would say it's actually been positive. Ask the
How?
Invicta fighters. They like it. They like to know where they stand. Shannon herself says she likes it. Why did she say she liked it? Because it gives power to the fighters. One of the all-time great promoters in the history of the sport says she wants to give power to the fighters. Imagine that, right? Imagine that.
You were talking about entertainment. Again, two things are being confused. You were
No,
talking about the
I'm giving
entertainment
you an
aspect.
example
You were
of-
saying that it will make things more entertaining. I said, prove it. Show me.
Yes. Okay,
Show me the
great.
examples.
But also
Great.
to your point, saying it'll be less entertaining, I want you to prove that as well.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you did. You said,
You
"Oh,
did, yeah.
where's
You
the
said you
example
like
that
the entertainment aspect of it, and this will take away from that.
GC, this is what they all do online. They're like, okay, it's not going to work, and then they offer nothing.
I didn't say it's not going to
Guess
work.
what? Okay,
Again.
so then let me prove it. Let's
Prove
do it
it.
at UFC 276.
Oh, well, okay. You're saying
Well, how can I prove it? then?
I
Theoretically.
love these ideas.
It has
but, like,
happened.
They're not going to come to fruition.
it has happened already.
No.
We
I
have
want it. I
open
want
scoring
it.
fights.
I want it on the biggest stage, UFC. I want a UFC event with open
theoretical.
scoring.
This
Just
is
do it
theoretical.
once. What, they do freaking events at the Apex for 2 years. They can't do one open scoring event. They can't try it with one. Dude, by the way, guess what? Do it Contender Series. Can you do it for Contender Series?
I'm fine. Try it. Go
We
for
went
it.
from- Ultimate Fighter.
We went from UFC 276 to Dana White's Contender Series.
Dude,
That's
do it
what
at
you
the
agree
Road
on?
to Singapore tournament. Can you do it? Just try it. That's all I say. If it fails, I'll be the first to say, you know what,
see,
that sucked.
Your idea, and also your idea of like huge success, failure, that's not real either. Like it's not going to be a huge success and it's not going to be a failure. It's going to be nothing,
This is the problem
which is
with
what it has
society.
been.
It's
I'm
just-
open to it. I'm open to seeing it.
Okay, what about my What about my agreement thing in the back?
Fine.
I
Try
like
it.
that idea, but
Again,
that idea is never
I'm
going
not.
to happen.
My argument isn't.
It's because it's never going to happen.
My argument isn't open scoring is dumb. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it's been used and it's shown nothing. So what?
But it
what-
hasn't shown bad.
So
So there you go.
it
If the
hasn't shown
fighters
bad.
are
So that's
that-
the reason to change something because it
Well,
hasn't.
if it hasn't
been
shown
bad.
bad, then it's been good.
If it
No,
hasn't
that's
shown
not
bad
true.
and
That
the
is not
fighters are
true.
in favor of it,
That's
then
a
I
wrong.
support it.
That's a wrong argument.
We
Just
need to-
because it hasn't been bad doesn't mean it has.
You know what?
Wrong.
I want to get Shannon Knapp on this program to talk about why it has been so good. I might just
Sure.
do that.
Sure,
I like that.
I'd like to hear it. But yes,
Go to the back.
it hasn't done.
Okay.
It hasn't had any material effect.
Hey,
The
We've
go to the
seen this.
back thing isn't happening, dude.
Max. Hey, Max.
I'm okay with
You want
that.
open scoring for this? Volkanovski said yes. Yeah, you know what?
see.
We got screwed.
But why do they need to agree? That's what I don't get. Why do they need to agree?
I kind of like it if they agree.
Again, entertainment, fighters' knowledge. These two things can be separated. You don't need to combine the two. You don't need to combine the two.
Okay, but in this case where I want everything to be somewhat uniform, everyone on the same page.
Well, now you're
you-
talking about fighters. What if there's some fighters you don't want to know? Now you're.
Oh, then
now
they
you're
say no,
taking
and now
away.
it's all. I'm sorry, bud.
Well, now the other fighter got screwed, right? Max wants it. Now
No.
he got screwed
Takes
because
two
he
to
doesn't get
tango.
it.
Takes two to
Okay,
tango.
well,
Takes
so
two-
somebody's
this
getting
is the
screwed.
agreement.
Always, somebody's always getting.
No. We're giving you the opportunity. Hey, and by the way,
Split it up.
maybe Max calls up Alex. Yo, bro, like what happened? Why didn't you want it? Yeah, I'll slip
If they,
you an
do,
extra 10%.
if they do the backdoor thing too, the fans can't know because we couldn't
Split
be
it up.
going in and out broadcast. It's like, okay, this one's going to be open scored, this one isn't.
Why not? Isn't that freaking great?
Yeah,
Split
I
it
don't
up.
think that would ever happen.
John,
we get the card. These are going to be open scored.
Anik, coming up in the featherweight division, brought to you by Modelo, brewed for the fighting spirit. We got an open scoring fight coming up on the card now. UFC 276. It's Max Holloway. Now,
That's not happening.
you're telling me you're not in?
Across the board. I wanted across the board or nothing.
If your primary...
Yeah, all or nothing.
See, now you lose it's for the fighters. If your primary argument is it's for the fighters and it's for their knowledge only, let the individual fighter decide. It should have no effect if their opponent doesn't want it.
That's fine.
Only they get it. Only they get that info. If that's your argument, then you have to accept that reality.
Man, then there would be like so much speculation if someone came out like looking for a crazy finish and everything. Oh, did they get told the score and they know that they're losing? Like,
yeah. Did be
interesting. That might even create more drama.
By the way, could you imagine, like, tell me, has an Invicta fighter come out and said this screwed me up?
Have they said it was the most
someone
amazing thing that changed
they said it's been so great.
I enjoy open scoring.
By the way, great call here from EK. Remember DJ versus Ian McCall 1 when he got screwed because of the bad freaking math in Australia? Yeah. If one of Dana's talking points in the interview with Ariel Helwani was that he would have loved to see the fans' reaction if they found out that the fight was a draw and they were going to a sudden death round. You remember that? Everyone was like, oh my God, sudden death round.
Yeah, but they would have found out a draw at the end of the fight.
Yeah, and then they freaking screwed it up. Had we known in the heat of the battle, in real time, could have fixed it.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Chase is ready.
I'm unconvinced.
Frank, we fixed judging. We fixed judging, baby!
And judging and open scoring, not the same thing.
I'm going to ask our next guest about this because I feel like he's going to have a lot of great opinions. In fact, he was once named the Fight Pass Journalist of the Year. I'm not sure who he beat out. I think he's the reigning defending Fight Pass Journalist of the Year and came up with a very big win. First bonus this past Saturday. He's still just 22 years young. Can't even rent a car in the United States of America. Just defeated Felipe Colares via third round TKO. He's the great Chase Hooper who's joining us. First up on the show today. Hello, Chase. How are you?
Good. Not too sore, not too beat up. So I've definitely come out of fights worse. So I'm feeling good today.
Well, we have a lot to talk to you about. And by the way, you look completely different. I mean, we cut the hair. You don't look like Ben Askren anymore. You've got a little bit of stubble here on the chin.
There you go.
This 11-month time off has really done wonders for you.
Yeah, I obviously, I don't know, I wasn't really intending on cutting the hair this short. It just kind of ended up like that. But I don't know. It's just, it's been so much time off and just been really putting in the work to, improve my game overall. And I feel like that really showed last night. And to try to, not just take the place of like, oh, this young, like dorky guy, like, I have to be a UFC fighter, first and foremost. And I have to really not see myself as any different than any of these other guys. Obviously I've had a much, bigger platform, like just from the jump, on the social media side of things, but it's like not just being content with that and not just being content with being like the young, Eminem kid, trying to step up and prove to myself and to, the three people that matter, like Dana, Mick, and Sean, that I am a world-class fighter and that I, deserve to be in the UFC. So.
Wow. Okay. You said a lot there. I appreciate that answer. First off, was this one of those classic, hey, can you just trim the hair a little bit? And then the lady like messed it all up. Is that what happened? Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
How mad were you?
And then, so I was like, yeah, just fade up the sides, like get it clean. It's fine.
Damn.
I only get a haircut like every 6 months, and the 6-month mark just ended weird. And then I was dieting, so it doesn't grow very fast. And I was like, it's not going to grow out in time. So
were you mad?
It is what it is.
Did you leave like all pissed off? Did you not tip them?
Yeah. Just trying to look a little, I feel like I look a little ridiculous with the hair.
No, you look great.
Sometimes when it's the afro, like sometimes I look at it and I just am like, oh, I look like such a weirdo. Where like when it's short, I feel a little better about myself.
No. You look fantastic, long hair or not. By the way, before we get too far down, because I want to ask you about something you just said. We just had a spirited debate about scoring and judging and whatnot. And I just kind of fixed judging. I don't know if you heard the news. I fixed it. And I came up with this fantastic idea. So I'm really into open scoring. Are you into open scoring? Are you down with open scoring?
Yeah, I feel like it's so weird. MMA and like boxing, combat sports are pretty much the only sports where you don't know what the score is. You have to assume.
Yeah.
And I get some people's angles where they're like, oh, well, if this guy knows he's up 2 rounds, he's just going to hang on and like stall. But I don't know. You don't necessarily see that in the NFL. You don't see people, being up 14 points and then they're like, all right, we just need to stall for the next, 2 quarters, like stuff like that. Because it's a fight. Like people are still obviously going to go for the bonuses. I don't know. Maybe have like my coach was honestly saying this and I thought it was interesting. Do open scoring, but then maybe get rid of like the bonuses, but have them essentially like, say you get a first round finish, you get like an extra 10 grand. Say you get a second round finish, you get an extra 5 grand. Third round finish, like, but still have the incentives for people to finish.
I like that.
But not, then you can still have the open scoring. You can still have people understanding like what's actually happening. And then you're not going to have like what we had with Home Vieira where, both sides are kind of like, And it's just like, I don't know. I think there's not a need for scoring to be kept secret. We need the judges to be accountable and we need the fighters to kind of know what's going on in the moment, or the coaches at least.
This is why you're reigning Fight Pass Journalist of the Year. Jed, I put Chase's name on the list because you're everyone I ask. The only one who has said no is Ally Quinta, who I respect immensely. But here's the thing. What I just came up with was, all right, let's say you're fighting Felipe Colares, right, on Saturday. They go up to you guys before the fight on Friday at the weigh-ins. Hey, you want open scoring for this fight? If you both agree, then you get it. If you can't agree, then you don't get it. But at least what I'm trying to do is give the fighters the power of knowing if you're about to get screwed or not. There's too much at stake. And by the way, I like what your coach said about the first round, second round thing. I would just say get rid of all the performance bonuses and just do finishing bonus. So, a few weeks ago we had 9 on a card. Everyone got them, 9, all 9. Sometimes there's 1. All right, you got them, a couple of other people. Okay, cool. Just give a finishing bonus so that incentivizes the fighter to still keep fighting. And by the way, there are sometimes clunker NFL games, right? There are some games that are blowouts. It's okay. Not every fight has to be rock'em sock'em robots. And there are ways to deter fighters from running around. There's stalling, there's this and that. So I just feel like I want the fighters, I care deeply about the fighters, Chase. I want you guys to have as much knowledge and power as possible. And now I feel like you only find out at the end, you think you're up, you're about to get screwed, you get half your paycheck. It's not fair.
Yeah. And that's another thing, is the consequences are so huge for stuff like that. Like it would be good to know beforehand, like when you think you're up, if you're not, and if you need to like be putting in the extra horsepower. I do like the idea of at least starting it off like that, of like, hey, do you want open scoring? Do you want open scoring? If you both agree, then like, all right, we're both consciously making that decision. And I feel like that's a really good way to like introduce people to it. And then like, if 95% of the people are like, yeah, then just implement it all together. I feel like that'd be a good kind of way to get the ball rolling on that, and not, because people are scared of change, especially with MMA rule changes, because they are, again, like the win and the loss, like it doubles your paycheck or it halves it. So you really need to know the rules inside and out. So I think slow rule changes would be good like that. Like say something like the downed opponent stuff. People freak out about that. Any little changes to it, they're freaking out. They're like, what's going on? They're so stressed out about it. But yeah, just we got to do slow changes. People are very, very slow to change in the sport, I feel like, as far as that goes.
Yes. Luckily for you, none of this was a factor because you finished your opponent. So shout out to you on that. I wanted to go back to what you said before because I read this great article. Spencer Kite wrote it for UFC.com before your fight, and you were talking about imposter syndrome. And I feel like that's what you were just referring to in that answer that you were talking about, where maybe because of the way you look, your age, maybe you didn't feel like you belonged. You're a product of Contender Series. They're giving you the rub. Was that accurate back in the day? And now, a few fights in, do you feel finally like you belong, or is it still kind of a work in progress?
I think confidence is, I've been listening to a lot of sports psychology stuff, so I'm trying not to get too like woo woo about it.
I love that. You could get woo woo.
It's definitely been helping, but it's like it's a constant thing that you have to keep up. Like you can't just be confident and then that's the way it is forever. Like you have to continually keep adding to that, keep reinforcing it, or else you're going to just slip back and go backwards. And we don't want to kind of lose the ground with the confidence. That's never a good thing. But yeah, it's such a huge step up from, you know, like I think of the amateur circuit as like, you know, high school sports. And then the pro circuit is like college level sports, you know, like, okay, you're good enough. Whereas like the UFC is like the NFL. It's like obviously the very peak. It's, you know, such a huge culmination of things to even get there in the first place. And for so many fighters, they don't get the opportunity to like adjust to that level. You're jumping into the deeper pool each time. And then UFC is the depth of that is infinite. Like I'm now in the same weight class as Max Holloway. I'm in the same, you know, division. I could potentially fight Volkanovski one day. Like that's crazy to think about when you're debuting. You know, and rubbing elbows with like Damian Maia, Israel Adesanya, Colby, Usman, all these crazy high level guys I've been on cards with. It's so hard to just jump in there at, you know, 20 years old when I debuted and you're just like, oh, these are my coworkers now. Like this is the skill ceiling. It's so hard to adjust to. And being like so young and I'd only been pro for a couple years, it's so weird to just be like, okay, here's the deep end, we're jumping in. And it's so hard to adjust to that. But now this was my 5th fight. It was so many things went perfect in the lead up, like just all the little stuff. And I know exactly what to expect with the UFC like fight week now. And I feel like I really adjusted to it well. And now I think, again, like I've pressurized to the level of the depth of the UFC. And I feel like now I'm ready to start kind of working my way forward.
I love that. That is great. I mean, that's part of maturing, evolving. By the way, the 11-month layoff, why were you out for so long?
Well, part of that was UFC offered me a fight in October, I think, like early October. And I got married late August.
Congrats.
I was on my honeymoon, like, you know, first week of September. So it would have been like dieting on the honeymoon, fight camp starting, and I was out of the country and all that. So I was like, this is not going to work out time wise. And then, you know, they just kind of bumped me back on the queue. And then, you know, I was trying to get a fight December, January, February, March, April, May. Huh. And then, you know, May, they finally gave me the date. So, you know, you kind of take what you can get. And it was obviously not great in some ways, but it was definitely a blessing in disguise. You know, just taking the time off, letting my body like adjust to not having to cut a ton of weight or anything. Getting to train without the stress of preparing for a fight, which is, I feel like where you make the most progress is between fights. You know, not training for a specific opponent. You're just training for life. You're training for your career. And obviously getting a ton of work in with the guys in South Carolina over at Wonder Boys Gym. And yeah, it's been great. Obviously it was a lot longer than I anticipated, longer than I've ever had between fights. But, you know, I didn't really feel like any possibility of a ring rust or anything coming into it. But yeah.
Damn, 6-7 months. They couldn't sneak you on a card. I mean, they love you over there. They're always tweeting about you. They couldn't put you as the 14th fight on some Apex show.
Yeah. I don't know. Is what it is.
All right.
I'll, you know, it's, I'm sure they have their reasoning. And I wonder if part of it was to kind of give me more time. They're like, all right, well, if he can't do this quick turnaround, we're going to give him time, see if he kind of develops a little more. And yeah, I think it worked out. Obviously, it sucked in the moment to never really have a fight for a crazy amount of time. But yeah, I feel like I've been making a lot of progress, and I think it showed.
So you got married like you had just turned 22, or you were about to turn 22, right? You got married, you said in August?
Yeah.
Your birthday's in September. Why do you do things so young? You come to the UFC, you're barely 20. You're getting married so young? You're just an old soul?
I guess so. I've been with my girl since right after my first pro fight. I remember going into my second pro fight. I was so scared. I was like, if I lose this, I guess I'm gonna have to be single then. But no, but she's been supporting me the whole way. We've lived together since right after my Contender fight when she turned 18. So she's been super supportive the whole way. She's been there the whole journey. You know, from me making $600 and $600 at the local casino to you know, making a 50G bonus on Saturday night. And you know, she's done a lot to support me. She was there for my weight cut. And yeah, you know, it's just good to have someone to support you. And you know, I kind of had a really chaotic family life. So I think I kind of crave some stability like that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of her and the gym are my two stable points in life. And that, you know, that's enough for me. So I'm happy with it.
And now she's competing too, right? Doing some jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, she's a blue belt. She just had her first jits tournament in February or March. She got second place, got a pretty sick triangle. I think there's another one coming up in June or July that I'm gonna see if she wants to do. And yeah, it's kind of fun to be on the cornering side for her, like trying to help her get ready for a competition.
Yeah. By the way, I guess somehow we just like zoomed out on your camera. You're wearing a sick Biggie shirt that I didn't notice before because you were all zoomed in. Wow, Biggie wearing a gi? That's amazing.
Yeah, Biggie wearing a gi.
Damn. I'm assuming that's photoshopped, right? He never really trained.
Yeah.
Still awesome. You're a hardcore hip hop guy, right? I see like all your favorite. There's a guy, I want to give him a shout out. He does a great job of like writing. Do you know what I'm talking about? He asks fighters about like things that they are interested in outside of fighting. And he did one on you. And now I'm butchering. You know what I'm talking about? Your favorite M&Ms, your favorite this. What's his name? Damn.
Alex, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
All right, well, shout out to Alex. He does a nice job on Twitter. Anyway, that's your favorite type of music.
Yeah, I think you know, I grew up on a lot of 90s rap in the gym, a lot of East Coast rap, Nas, Biggie, you know, Mos Def, Tribe Called Quest, you know, all these great groups and rappers from the 90s. And yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy listening to it. It gets me in the training mood. So for sure.
Alex, I want to get it right. Bunhein, I think it is. So
seems about right. Yeah.
It is a tough
I don't want to butcher it myself.
Yeah. You mentioned your family. What was so chaotic about your upbringing?
Just being white trash, you know. I was the poor kid, you know, on the reduced lunches and all that. You know, one pair of shoes for the year, one pair of jeans. I don't know, just growing up as like a poor white trash kid. You know, my half sister, you know, we both have different dads, that type of thing. Like just, you know, classic white trash folk moments, you know, as far as you can get for Washington. You know, some substance stuff with some of the parental side of things, but is what it is. Everybody's got their own trials and tribulations, and everybody's got a reason why things should have went wrong. And it's whether you embrace that and like just are in the woe is me mentality, or if you just kind of use that to strengthen you and kind of move past it. And I feel like I've done that pretty well. And I feel pretty, you know, just genuinely happy with my life and where I'm at right now. So I'm content.
Have you always, even like when you were 11, 12, were you always more mature than your friends? Because like right now, I don't feel like I'm speaking to a 22-year-old. And that's a compliment, obviously. I feel like you're much, you know, wiser, more mature than your typical 22-year-old. And you were even showing those, you know, traits when you first came to the UFC, and we learned a lot about you. Were you always this way?
Oh, thanks. I guess, yeah. I don't know. I've always been the weird kid, like just really quiet. I think I've just kind of started to come into my own. I just didn't really have a ton of confidence growing up. You know, nobody does, especially like, you know, the skinny little weird poor kid, you know, that's me. But I don't know. I always just focused on school. And then when school was done, I went to the gym. And I, you know, even from an early age, I was sacrificing a lot to be at the gym, like hanging out with friends. I'd be like, oh, sorry, I can't. I got to go train. I didn't go to any parties or anything in high school. I didn't really talk to any girls in school. I don't know why. I just really gravitated towards training, and that was my outlet for a lot of things. And, obviously it's worked out, but I think being in the gym and being around a lot of like really wise people who have, maybe made mistakes in their childhood and their youth and stuff, and like hearing those stories and stuff, it really lets you know like what matters and what doesn't. Because when you're in high school, you're like, oh, who's popular, that type of stuff. But, having those older people around you to kind of ground you and really teach you what it is to like be a man and to be a, responsible adult, and, just let you know that most of the shit in school doesn't matter. And I feel like that really helped me from a younger age.
Did you get picked on a lot?
No, I was just so quiet. If somebody picked on me, I would have, done what I had to. But it was just weird. Like, I just didn't really talk to people. I just was quiet. I just focused on my schoolwork, came home, went to the gym, played video games, went to sleep, got up and did it the next morning. I don't know. Nobody really picked on me. I don't think that's it wasn't as big of a thing at my school. Like, everybody just had their weird little cliques and yeah.
Who introduced you to martial arts?
My coach, Jeff Hoagland, used to work with my dad. It was during like the 2008 stuff, with the financial collapse and all that. So he opened up his gym like right when they both got laid off. And my coach was like, hey, bring your kids in, like get them to train. And started jiu-jitsu at 8 years old with my coach, Jeff Hoagland, here in Enumclaw, this tiny little hick town in the middle of Washington. And I got to watch his UFC career. Just been training with him ever since.
It's incredible. It really is. Your story is very inspiring. And I know that you're young, and I know that you're online, and, you're part of the new generation, and UFC pushes you online and whatnot. And I'm wondering, because perhaps you are maybe so in tune with what the streets are saying, like when you lost last year and now you're kind of, winning one, losing one, winning one, lose. And people are very quick to write people off in this day and age, right? Like, oh, you're a never was, you were overhyped, you weren't as good as they said. Did you read that stuff, and did that stuff affect you mentally?
I think it's kind of it's like a kind of two parts to it. Like, in some ways it affected me a lot earlier in the career, like after my Contender fight. But at this point, I'm really used to it. Like, I've seen some of the worst things that people can write about me, but thankfully I get like 99% positive feedback regardless. Like, people are super cool to me, and I really appreciate that from the fans, because they're so brutal overall. But I've already seen pretty much all of the worst things that people could write about me. Like, it doesn't really affect me at this point. Like, people are like, oh, you suck, and it's like, hey man, I've seen that 1,000 times. It doesn't affect you as much the 1,000th time as it does the first.
Great.
But I've also kind of, for this fight specifically, just after weigh-ins, I turned off all my notifications. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. The only texts I was getting were from my coach for logistic stuff and for my girl, because those are the only two people I needed to worry about being in communication with for the fight. Because at the end of the day, like, it's just trying to ground yourself and be like, I'm not doing this for other people's opinions. Like, I'm not doing this to satisfy what you people think of me. I'm doing this for myself, and, for my family to like support my wife and all this, and, bring a name to my gym, that type of thing. And that's really what I've been trying to focus on is doing it for myself more and not focusing on the noise. Because again, like, people will, like they're doing right now, they're like, oh, future champ,
Yeah.
Can't wait for you to get the belt. Those people, I really like, I appreciate the positivity, but their comments are just as out of place as the people that tell you that you suck. Like, the truth is somewhere in the middle. The people that praise you and the people that tell you that you're the worst, like, they're both two ends of the spectrum, and the reality is somewhere in the middle. So it's just trying to not take too much stock into either of those. Like I don't need to go into the next 6 months and just be like, all right, I'm content with this. I don't have to train hard. It's just trying to, ground myself and really just focus on what really matters, which is the training, my life outside of being just a fighter, and not just making my worth to myself, my self-worth, like not just tying that to being a fighter or winning a fight. And just realizing that the people that really matter are going to respect me either way, the same as I respect them, regardless of what happens to them.
Beautifully said, honestly. There's a lot that
Thank you.
people can learn from that. By the way, how much did you spend at the M&M store in Vegas after the bonus?
I was really disappointed. I don't know why I went in there with actually, I had a ton of M&Ms left. I tried something a little different for the day of the fight.
Oh.
I normally gorge myself, but I was like, hold on. My girl was reading me something about how like you should avoid excessive sugar and excessive caffeine like the day of a competition to like reduce the anxiety.
Huh.
So I was doing that, and that really worked out. So I had a ton of M&Ms left at the hotel. So I had some of those after. I was really going for an M&M button-up shirt.
Okay.
Sadly, I did not see any at the M&M store. So we ended up spending $0, but I took a pic with the little boxer M&M guy upstairs, and I posted that. So we got something out of it.
Nothing for the road? Like there's no crazy Vegas flavor that they have up there? I don't know, something that like you didn't get anything? A pencil?
No, I'll find an M&M button-up shirt once the bonus check clears. Then I'll splurge on that a little bit. Even if it's off-brand, I'm going to be all right with it.
By the way, I don't mean to like get too personal here, but you have a manager, right? You have someone who represents you?
No, my coach does all of my. He talks with Mick, Sean. He talks with the matchmakers. It's just like we were able to get me to this position without the need of a manager. So like, why?
Yeah.
Like whatever extra money they could get me on my contract, they're going to end up taking. They take like 10, 20%.
Yeah.
If they can give me an extra 10, 20%, that's just going to cancel out.
No, it's a good point.
It's like, it's like I've been able to do all of this myself. And when it does get too overwhelming, if I do need help with that, I feel that there are, then we'll assess it from there. But as of right now, like why give someone extra money for something that I don't need?
Well, I just wanted to put it out an open challenge to anyone. If they want to try to butter you up, someone needs to get you an M&M sponsorship. You speak so much about M&Ms all over the place. So if someone wants to get your business, reach out to M&M, say, I got this dude, and that would seal the deal?
Yeah, if I could get an M&M like endorsement, if I'm getting that M&M money, that's something I can't get on my own. So like they have to provide the value.
All right.
I'm providing them with my blood money, and they have to provide something on their end.
I love it. All right. So any manager listening, a lot of them do. If you want Chase Hooper's business, get him the M&M sponsorship. Really enjoyed this conversation, Chase. Honestly, great to talk to you. And I don't think we spoke since you trolled me with Askren. Still haven't forgotten about that. It was a fantastic troll. You got me good. My eyesight was a little bad on that day, but well done. And I was expecting the coffee coconut drink, but it's nowhere to be found. Shout out to Aaron Bronstetter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to pick up any coconut milk from the store. I had a busy morning. So
next time. Chase, you're the man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate you talking to me.
All the best. Keep it up. You're a very easy guy to like and to root for. You make the sport better. So well done with everything that you're doing, and looking forward to the next one.
Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, there he is, Chase Hooper. Big win for him on Saturday. Got the bonus. Very exciting as well. Big win. Unassuming, right? Doesn't look like your typical fighter, but is someone who's very young. Remember, the likes of Max Holloway came into the UFC at around his age. Charles Oliveira came into the UFC at around his age. How did those guys turn out? All right, so before you start celebrating that someone has stumbled and start proclaiming that they were a never was, remember, it takes some people to, it takes some time to get their feet wet in this crazy sport. Alex Behunin. That's the journalist who does these Twitter Q&As with the likes of Chase Hooper, usually one or two, I think, on the UFC cards. I see them pop up. His favorite band or musician, Biggie, Tupac, Wu-Tang, Nas. How about that? That's an old soul right there. Favorite song, 10 Crack Commandments by Biggie. That's an old soul. Love it. Thank you very much to Chase Hooper. Congratulations to him. All right. Very excited to talk to our next guest. It's always great when you're in the presence of royalty, and now more so than ever, because for the first time since we last spoke to her, she's the best pound-for-pound female fighter on the planet. She's the best pound-for-pound female fighter on the planet. I don't want to hear any other argument. She returns to action on July 11th in Singapore, defending her women's flyweight title one more time, this time against Taila Santos. She is the pride of Kyrgyzstan. She is the budding actress as well. She's the bullet, Valentina Shevchenko, kind enough to join us on the show. There she is. Hello, Valentina. How are you?
Hello, Ariel. Good to hear you.
Yes, great to see you and to talk to you. As always, you're in Florida right now, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
Well, hello from Florida. By the way, number one pound for pound, that's you, right? You agree with, I know you're very humble, but you have to agree now. You're number one. There's no debate.
Yeah, why I have to deny that, right?
Yes, Valentina, I love it. I love it when you're not humble. It's a lot cooler. Well done. Okay, so there's a lot that we have to discuss. By the way, what brings you to Florida this time? One thing that I always appreciate about you, your coach Pavel, and your sister Antonina, you're kind of like travelers, right? Sometimes you're in Arizona, you're in Las Vegas, you're now in Florida. You travel all over the place, but you're always together. Why Florida this time?
Florida, because Singapore, it's very humid climate, and definitely it's kind of like to get a little bit more used to it. We had to find something very similar to the Singapore climate. That's why we wanted initially to go to Thailand, but a little bit we could not do it because of travel documents or something, like small issues. That's why we traveled to Florida, and it's very humid here, very hot. And get closer to Singapore.
And when you guys travel, is it just you three? Because it always seems like it's you three. Is there anyone else that comes with you?
This time, no. This time it's me and Pavel. Antonina, she will join us already. We will travel to Singapore because she had just recently she had a flight. She flew our plane Cessna, what she's flying, and actually she flew to Mexico. She spent a few days in Mexico, and she just recently came back to Las Vegas.
Wow. And she flew the plane herself, right? She has a license.
Yes, exactly. She's a commercial pilot. She actually a pilot who can work as a pilot. Yes, she is.
That's amazing. And you don't have a license as well, right?
No, Pavel, he has private pilot license, but I am just starting my way of learning how to fly. And I thinking that after the fight in the future, I will start to slowly. I'm not in rush, and I will do that. I will learn it too.
And when do you go to Singapore?
We are planning to go end of this week.
End of this week. Okay. And how did you feel when they offered you Singapore? Were you okay with the time difference, the long travel? Were you happy with that location?
It's kind of like when I was offered Singapore, if I could choose, I would choose Las Vegas, maybe.
Yes.
Something closer because anyway, I love to travel, but when we are speaking about travel for a fight, it's not that much fun of traveling. You cannot kind of explore around. You cannot enjoy the culture of everything because you are so focused on the fight, and everything you think about it's a fight. Yes, definitely. But why not? Why not? I knew that if it's not Singapore, it's maybe will be a few months after the date of June, and I don't want to wait that much. That's why, like, why not?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, why such a? It feels like unless you were banged up, it feels like a long gap between this fight and your last fight. Any particular reason for that?
Yes, it was like a little injury that I had on my foot after the last fight, and it like required like 4 weeks no training, no bothering foot. Yeah, but it went fine. It's like healed all the way up, and then we had all traveled to Kyrgyzstan. This like for 4 months we were visiting home, and it's definitely, of course, a little bit like delay in these terms. And then when I was ready, it was kind of like in February, I started to reach back UFC and said like, okay, I am ready right now. And this is what date I offered, what I was offered June.
So I'm happy you mentioned going back home to Kyrgyzstan. I was just about to ask you, I saw the photos and the videos on your social media. What a reception that you got, Valentina, over there. I mean, again, it's like you're royalty. I saw you're on the horse, and they open up the cars. They treated you like you're a real dignitary over there. Could you tell us about the reception that you got? Because I saw some of these photos. I was like, wow, Valentina is a real big deal back there in Kyrgyzstan. Like they really rolled out the red carpet for you.
Kyrgyzstan is very, very good and very like friendly country. It's like, every time the hospitality, it's number one. How they receive everyone. It's like, yes, definitely. If you are kind of like a very important person for you, the country, not important, but like the people really like love a person. It's kind of like reflecting on how they treat you. But anyway, everyone who would come to Kyrgyzstan, they would receive a huge hospitality in there. And people, they are very kind, very nice people, and they are very open. And definitely their horse culture, nomad culture, it was every time. That's why in Kyrgyzstan, it's kind of like even like children 6, 7 years old, they already are riding horses. And we have national game, Kyrgyz game. It says it's named Kokboru. It's where 2 teams, they are on horses and they are playing against each other, and it's like very powerful, very strong, very to have very strong character. And it's amazing. I was enjoying very much visiting my home country. Of course, like every day is like a lot of food, national food. It's amazing, so delicious. And I really, really glad that this time I had not just like a little visit, but a long time visit there.
I want to ask you about that game in a second, but as far as the last time you were in Kyrgyzstan, was it before the pandemic?
Yes, last time before it was 2019.
Right.
And this time 2022, it's kind of like before and after.
Yeah. So did you feel a different feeling, a different reception? Like now you've become a lot more successful. You're a lot more famous. You're in a movie with Halle Berry, for goodness sake. Like, did you feel like people were treating you a little bit different because it's been 3 years since you were there?
No, I didn't feel the difference. No, actually, no. It was amazing that time. It was amazing this time, and this time maybe I felt a little bit more because it was longer. Last time it was just a week, and we didn't have much time to actually be there and be with the people and speak with the people and like see and listen them. But this time we had like more opportunity actually to stay and spend time with the people.
Okay. Now this game that you mentioned where everyone's on the horse, I also saw that you guys are holding up it kind of looks like it's like a dead animal, but then I saw that maybe it's like a stuffed animal. It's all stitched up. What is this game? And what is that thing that you guys are holding? I saw the photos and it looks like almost like a, I don't know, like this long like otter or something.
Yeah.
What is that thing?
Yes, it's exactly what you like. Originally, in the like old times when it was when this game was played, it was like dead animal of a sheep body, and they was like two teams was playing with the sheep. But after like the winner team, they took meat and they actually cooked it. And after the game, it was a feast because the meat, when it's like when it's kind of like a lot of
like beat up,
it's like make it more softer, nicer, and that's why it's like more tastier. But in the modern days, they use leather bag in the shape of an animal, stitches like all over, and actually it can weigh for about, I would tell you, about 70-80 pounds.
Wow.
So it's not that light thing. And actually, when a rider on a horse, he has to lean down, like go all the way to the floor, take it from the floor, and carry it to the other end of the field where he has to throw it. So that's why I'm saying it's required a lot of physical power, a lot of strength, and it's amazing to see how horses are playing, because even horses, they are playing to like each other, and you see that they understand the rules, what they have to do, and they playing against other horses, like pushing with the bottom or like doing like whatever to help to the rider. And it's amazing. It's kind of a like full team between man, between his horse, and full understanding to each other.
And you play this as well?
No, I didn't play. It. But yes, I ride a lot horses because it's kind of like national culture. And I really love to spend like time horses, nature. It's exactly one of my favorite things to be.
Do they televise that on TV? Like, is it that popular where you can watch it on TV, that sport?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes, definitely. And, actually, after we already came back to United States, I saw on Instagram, there was a team from United States, and they traveled to Kyrgyzstan. And I posted like a few posts on my Instagram page. So they had different competition, like Kyrgyzstan against United States. And it was kind of like not just a competition, but it's a cultural events, and they stay for 1 week there, had several games, had reception, had like dinners, like meeting, cultural, like knowing each other, and it was amazing. I saw like cowboys in the hats and Kyrgyzstan people with their like national traditional clothing. It was very interesting to watch. It was very nice.
Now, we haven't talked in a while, so forgive me for asking. And I haven't seen a lot of media. I know you did the conference call a couple of weeks ago. Were you as shocked as everyone else was when Juliana Pena, someone that you know very well, beat Amanda Nunes back in December? Did that shock you, that result?
I was not shocked. And of course it was surprising, but the other thing, I didn't see Amanda kind of like in the same fight shape as she used to be in the fight. For example, when we fought together, she was completely like different eyes, different like, I don't know, everything. But on the Juliana's fight, she was kind of like a little bit more relaxed. I don't know how she prepared for this fight, but she looked differently. That's why I was like, I suspect something like, it can be something, but yeah, it's torn up completely, like destroyed.
When you watch something like that, because she was so dominant for so long, is it almost like a lesson for you as well, that if you take your foot off the gas a little bit, it doesn't matter if someone is at your level or not, anyone could lose on any given day?
Oh no, this is a completely doesn't have to do nothing with me, because I know exactly that for being dominant and very powerful, you have to be very careful, respectful, and prepared to the fight in this hunger mode. When you are really want to fight, you don't want to give up just because you doesn't feel that you are kind of in a mood for a fight today. So this is I'm trying to avoid in my career, in my preparation, in everything. That's why what happened with them, it's happened with them because they had very weak mind, game mind, set up. And it's nothing that I have to worry about. I have to worry about exactly what I have in my mind in this moment. This is the most important for me. And what happened with them, it's whatever.
Right. Maybe a good sort of byproduct of what happened was maybe less people asking you about fighting her for a third time, right? Now that she lost, it takes those questions away a little bit, right?
I think it's just on a standby before July. This is where they will have a rematch, right?
Yeah. So if she wins, you think those questions come back?
I think so, because it's inevitable. Or if not, it will be Juliana Pena. Why not?
Right. Would you be open to that?
Before Juliana, a few years ago, I submitted her with armbar, and now people definitely they are kind of bringing up her name more frequently.
Who do you think wins the rematch?
Depends what mental shape they're gonna be. I would say on Juliana Pena, it's from one side, she's now champion, a lot more attention. She's receiving all this attention, and she wanna be showed up, and that's why it can affect her mental preparation. But in the same time, Amanda, we don't know what is going her, maybe family, maybe whatever. So it also can be point of her what preparation she will have. So it all depends. But I would say if they both gonna be very ready for the fight, wanna win the fight, I would say Amanda will take the rematch.
If Juliana wins, maybe even if Amanda wins, is there a chance your next fight is at 35 for that title?
I think so. There is also always a chance. There is always a chance, and definitely the bigger fight, the better, right?
Right, and I know there's always a chance, but does it feel like it's more reality that, especially considering the fact that you've beaten so many of the top, contenders at 125 pounds after Taila, there isn't a lot of people there. Are you still with us, Valentina? Maybe she got a call. Oh, she's back. Yeah, there you are.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
No problem. Maybe you got a call. You see me? You hear me? Oh,
it's something happened with my.
We see your name. Oh, no, I think she logged off there.
We'll get it back.
All right. Just as I was building up to the. It seems like in the past she has been less receptive to that 135 move, but now it feels as though she's opening up to it. And she said there's always a chance. I respect it. I get that. However, it does feel like if you look at the she there? Did I just hear something? Oh, there she is. Hello.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm back.
So you were saying there's always a chance, and I get that, but does it feel like it's even greater, that chance, especially if you get by Taila? And I know you want to respect her and don't look past her, because there's really not that many people at 125 at the moment, and because you have the history with Juliana and Amanda, that the next one is 35. You think it's a greater chance than usual?
Yes, I think by the end of the year, it's gonna be a good fight. But also, like, we have to see Misha Tate is coming to 125.
Yes,
it's in July, so it's like many things can happen. Many things can change, right? So yeah, I think it's possible.
Wow.
It's very, very, very possible.
Wow, I haven't heard you this so like almost confident about it happening. In the past, it's been like, oh, maybe this. That. Very, very possible. If you go up to 35, do you think you go back down? Would you want to go up and down? If you win that belt as well, would you want to be one of these double champs that defends both, or would you drop one of the belts?
I take like one step at a time.
Okay.
I do first move, and then I think what's next plan I gonna do.
Wow. Okay. By the way, could I ask you about the Rose Carla fight? Did you see that fight? And if so, in your opinion, like what went wrong in that fight?
It's hard to say like exactly what was wrong in that fight. And, I feel that Rose, she kind of like has everything better comparing to Carla. And she just didn't use much. And she could like wrestle her easily, because I feel Rose, she has like more potential in her wrestling against Carla. She just didn't use her skills. And I don't know. It sometimes happens with the fighters. They kind of like one day before they feel so good, and the day of the fight kind of like, oh my God, I don't want to fight, kind of. And you know what can help? It's like, if Carla would be like more aggressive and explosive, and Rose received a good punch, she would wake up and she would start to fight. But Carla was kind of like, okay, like I do my job, and she did it great because she definitely have to use her skills. And Rose didn't activate. But I feel like if she would be like active and activating in that moment, I don't know, maybe it's hard to say what had. We can now like think about all possibility in the world, like what it could happen if it will be like that, like those. But it happened how it's happened. I still feel Rose, she's like very, very good fighter. She's like very skillful. She has a lot of like good things in her game, right? It was just the night when she was not herself. And this is what I feel. Has that ever happened to you where you woke up and you didn't feel like, I feel like that's never really happened to you, at least not from our vantage point, where you just kind of feel off? Sometimes it can happen with everyone. But, I every time rely on my corners, because if sometimes it happened, they would not just like say, okay, Valentina, okay, just do that. No, Pavel, Antonina, they will yell at me and say what they think about me, what I'm doing. And it's like, are you crazy? They would, sometimes it's necessary. And I feel with all these micros, what like corners have there, they put extra pressure on them to say everything too much polite. But sometimes fighters don't need this much polite. They need just an extra push, extra boom, just like to wake up, just to have this like a sip of adrenaline or something like that, right? But yes, sometimes when it happened and you kind of like feel, okay, it's nothing happened, I feel comfortable, it's a comfort zone, we just like hanging around and I'm not tiring. But then you start to think, if I would continue to fight like that, I will lose my belt. I will lose the fight. Do I agree with that and continue do nothing just to be comfortable. No. And this is what pushed me every time. Like, go, don't stand there, go and fight.
You know, I've never really asked you this, and I'm going to let you go in a minute. Thank you so much for the time. I'm sorry that you're sitting in your car. You must be very hot over there in Florida. But has part of your success been, Valentina, that, you know, at least from the outside, you know, you're talking about Amanda and she has a family now. With you, it always feels like it's about business, fighting. You know, you have your coach, Pavel, you have your sister, but we never see, and I don't say this in a negative way, distractions around you. We never see, you know, family, you don't have your significant other in the corner. You don't have children that we know of. It's right now, it's all about your fighting. It's all about your career. And that's the best thing for you. Has that been part of the secret to your success?
Maybe yes. You know, I was happy to figure it out that all these other things, it's gonna just distract from my goal. And I discovered it like pretty early. And from that moment, I said like, I was thinking like, what do I want? What I really want? And I knew that what I want, it's like be fighter. And do in my career as much as I can. Just do what I like to do. And I just get rid from all distractions for now. Yeah, I know it's going to be, it's not going to be forever. It's not going to be like till the end of the day. There going to be a moment when I will have to switch. But it's not right now. And I know exactly if I want to keep successful, I just want to continue the same lifestyle what I have. That's why I completely understand what I am doing and where is the limit and where I don't want to cross, when I don't want to cross the limit. And this why probably, yes, this is one of the part that keep my mind in the calm position and very focused for the fight. I would agree. I'm agree with you. Yes.
Number one pound for pound, right? You agree with that as well?
Completely.
Valentina, you're the best. Thank you so much. Safe travels to Singapore. Good luck over there. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Always an honor. Appreciate it very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ariel. Thank you. Have a great day. You too. Bye.
All right. There she is, Valentina Shevchenko. Who is returning to action on June 11th, Singapore Indoor Stadium, UFC 275. Valentina, sneaky over time, has become one of my favorite interviews in the game. Has become a lot more open with her thoughts and feelings. Very interesting insight as far as the family stuff, the distractions, you know. And I say this, usually the term distraction is viewed as a negative. I don't mean it as a negative, but it's just like, look, she's just super focused. She's super focused on her career, and she'll worry about the other stuff later. And there's something to be said for that. Much respect. Tough fight for her coming up against Taila Santos. Taila Santos said recently that, you know, the ground game is her weakest aspect of her. And we've heard this before, people talking about Valentina's ground game. I think she's pretty well-rounded, if you ask me. I think she's number one pound for pound. I don't think there's any doubt of that. And slowly but surely, she is knocking off all the contenders. Now, there are some. Alexa Grasso's out there, and Manon Fiorot is out there. Like she said, Miesha Tate coming up. She's going down to 125. So there's a lot there. But that 135 statement was super interesting. Hadn't heard her say that so definitively in the past. She said, very likely by the end of the year. I think that's a really, really interesting statement. Now, main event that night, of course, light heavyweight title fight. It's Jiri Prochazka against the reigning defending UFC light heavyweight champion, the pride of not only Brazil, but the pride of Danbury, Connecticut, the one and only Glover Teixeira, kind enough to join us here on the program. Hello, Glover, my friend. Bom dia. How are you doing?
Bom dia, boa tarde.
Boa tarde, yes.
Doing very good.
It's afternoon, right? I screwed that up. It's the morning on the West Coast. It's a morning on the West Coast.
Yes. Okay.
Good to talk to you, my friend. Thank you so much. How crazy has life been for you? You're approaching your first title defense as champion. You won the belt 8 months ago or so, 5, 7, 6 months ago. At this point, like life as a champion, would you say that it's more hectic as life as a contender, life as a regular fighter?
Well, definitely more to do, you know. Definitely more to do, but it's all fun stuff, you know. It is more to do because I'm the champion, And, right now more interviews and stuff. And, but before parents here and there. And I'm enjoying, man. I'm enjoying this this whole, thing that is going on right now.
When you used to dream about life as champion, about finally getting that belt, was life like you are living it right now? Like what you dreamed life would be like? Has it turned out the same way? Or once the sort of shine rubs off, is it just kind of regular life all over again?
Man, listen, I always tell this. My life changed when I got to UFC, martial arts changed my life. And when I got to UFC, changed it financially. All the fights that I had and situation that I'm in right now, situation that I was when I come here 20 years ago, and situation I'm in right now, it's beautiful, and the belt is, I just wanted to be the best. I wanted to hold that belt for years, man, for 20 years that I watch UFC in 2002, 2001, actually, that I watch UFC and I say I'm going to be UFC champion. I'm dreaming about put this belt on my waist just to be the best. I really don't think about like, all the belts and whistles that comes with the belt, It doesn't matter too much to me. My life is great. Man, after I got in UFC, after I fought John Jones, pretty much, I bought my house and I was like, man, I'm all set. UFC give me the MMA give me, I made it, UFC, the MMA give me the house, a new car. So I'm living American dream. And from now on, it's just fun.
There was some talk of this fight and the Charles Oliveira fight happening in May in Brazil. And I love that because both you guys have put in so much time. You've had your ups and downs, but you're now both champions, Brazilian champions, getting a chance to fight back home. I would imagine that excited you greatly. What happened? Why didn't the event happen in Brazil for you?
I don't know. I think it was a pandemic going on. The COVID was pretty bad over there. Still, there's no show, so they changed it. I was a little upset about it, but hey, it's got to go on,
What was your reaction when you found out Singapore, that you'd have to go all the way to Singapore to defend the title?
At first, you're thinking like, oh, man, first you come to like the hours, the timing, That's what the fighters think at all the time. But and then I go back and it's like Singapore. I've never been there. It's gonna be a beautiful country, and I'm just gonna go and enjoy this ride, man. I'm just gonna enjoy like I did it with Dubai. When the Dubai was little because I had the 5 fights in a row with Carl Robinson, I started over there my winning streak, but it's all here in the United States. And when I got to fight for the title, they sent me all the way to Dubai. I'm like, it's gonna mess up something. But I just stay positive. I say, let's go to Abu Dhabi. Let's enjoy the desert and let's be a champion in the desert. And went over there and it was beautiful. And now I'm going to Singapore with the same enthusiasm. Like I'm going happy about it.
And as far as the amount of time that you'll spend there, it's kind of a science, right? You want to get acclimated. So when do you go out there to Singapore?
Next week. We're going, I think Monday, we're leaving.
Okay. So that's 2 weeks beforehand. You feel comfortable with that?
2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks is enough. I feel like, man, I am not a good sleeper, but like I am good sleep in the week of the fight because I got nothing else to do. So all I have to do is to train 1 hour a day and the rest I can just hang out, man. I'll be like a cat. Yeah. Every time I lay down somewhere, I sleep,
Well, this is a really interesting fight, and Jiri's a really interesting fighter, very unconventional, right? I mean, his striking is kind of all over the place. He's a different kind of cat. Have you brought in anyone to try to mimic him as you prepare for him that tries to copy his style? No one.
No. We have the same guy that I've been training with, man. I have 5 guys right now that is like top of the food chain, man. You just got to come and watch the training. We got 2 boxers that it's like Fanelli Jr. and Ali, my boxing coach son. sons, and I have Alex Pereira, Wellington Turma, Caio Magalhães. Those guys are more MMA guys. But yeah, man, I feel pretty good about it. It's hard to who you bring it to mimic. Try to think of Michel Pereira, because he's all like awkward like that a little bit. But hey, man, it comes to situations. It's so hard. I just got to worry about my style and what I'm going to do,
I'm assuming you've watched him, right? You've watched his fights.
Yes.
What do you think of his style? Because he does get hit a lot, but yet he's very unconventional, so he'll do some crazy things over there. But at some point, you would think you reach a level where that style isn't going to produce victories, because he does open himself up to getting hit, right?
Yeah. I mean, he got hit a couple of these fights, man, and he opened up. It's one of those things like if you watch him and you watch guys like John Jones, or even the fight that I had with Gustafsson, they didn't commit. They didn't commit to the punches, and him, he might go. He have to go. He wants to win the title. He might go for knockout, and he will have the knockout thing. So he's gonna open up. Like I say about Jan. Jan is gonna be a great fight, because I know Jan is not gonna be the guy that's back it up. Very smart fighter. I say, like John Jones, very smart, very very clever. Hit and don't want to get hit, and we, not so smart, because we just go over there and we want to fight, man. Want to, get in there, fight. And I like the type of guys that fight like that. I know that Jiri have a different style, and I'm aware of that. We work on it. We have a very good guys to work. The only thing is the eye. When you work with the eye, is the main thing to work. It's not like nobody's gonna make it's gonna be Jiri style. And the training too is like because what happens in a fight is one strike, man. One strike changes the whole dimension of the fight. So one punch and the training is like you get hit like I get hit from Alex Pereira, but who knows, like if in a training, if in a fight I get hit by him, if I stand up, the same thing as him, he get hit by me, like, and take down, but it's just what we work at the eyes a lot. We work the eyes, and we have, because of those guys been helping me so much, Ali and Fanelito, they so fast with the hands and with the head movement that make me very sharp on my boxing.
So how do you work the eyes? Like, what do you do to work your eyes?
Just drills, light spar. We spar like today. We do spar like Mondays. We do spar that we stay like in the middle, in the line. We cannot move the foot. We just move the head and hit. Don't get hit, and trying to counter punch. And I do this with a high level boxing. And with Alex Pereira, that's his thing. It's a counter punch. He come back. So those work the eyes, because you got to be fast on those punches that you throw and know they're gonna come back with something. And that's what Jiri is good for. He wait around a little bit, keep the hands down, and he wants you to commit, like you say. He keep the hands down, and he doesn't care too much. He getting hit, he wants to get this punch over there, and of course, it's something that I got to be aware of. And also is the takedown. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm going to have the takedowns there when he coming in, like, he knows I'm going to go for that leg.
So I want to get this clear. You spoke to my good friend Guilherme Cruz, the Brazilian Beast, and you said to him recently, this fight and then hopefully one November or so, and then you're done. The dream is you win this fight, and then you win the next one, and then you're retiring as champion. So, in other words, this is your last year of competing. Is that accurate?
Listen, I didn't say that for sure. I say this, I say if it's a perfect, it would be if I win this fight that of course I am confident. I'm comfortable. Man, but the thing is, like, when you guys ask me a question way before I get in the camp, it's almost like, man, maybe I fight one more time or two more. It's almost, but when I'm in camp right now, man, I'm a lion, man. I'm ready. You got to come to see my training, and then you'll see, like, you're probably not even going to ask that question about retired, because is the way I've been training, the way I've been feeling, the way the camp is going lately. I'm so happy about everything. And eventually I do want to retire. I say that it is a perfect scenario. You be me beating these guys in Singapore and hopefully fight Jan at Madison Square Garden in November and then call it a day, right? But I don't want to make a decision like that. I think that's a possibility, but I don't want to do it like, oh, I'm going to retire this year or my couple more fights or this and that, because it's tough, man. So much fights out there, so much money in the game, and then I'm just enjoying. Like I say, I don't want to make a call and be desperate later. Like I even mentioned Cejudo, Henry Cejudo. Like, nothing against the guy. I love the kid, but it's just you see him retired, but then he knows he don't he keep want to come back, He knows he have some more. And I don't know. I don't want to make this decision like that, but would be a possibility, yeah.
And honestly, the reason I bring it up is not because I think you should retire or to want to push you out. My response was going to be, why would you do this? You're at the top of the food chain. You're the champion. If you win July 11th or June 11th, excuse me, and then you go to Madison Square Garden and win, you've worked your whole career to get to this point. Why would you walk away now? You're the best light heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, because, man, I don't know. It's just like I'm not doing it for the money, I'm not doing it for the money. I did it for the championship, and yes, I keep saying to people, we work so hard in our life, we're fighting for nothing, now it's going to make a good money and step it away. But you got to look around, got to look around what is my life been? Why do I need more? Why do I want more? Why, and it's definitely not for the money, because I'm fighting right now because I'm the champion. I wanted to defend this title, and, man, 42, 43. I thought about this while back, right? While back, I say, if I fight to a 40, it'd be great. If I fight in UFC until I'm 40 years old and retired, in UFC, that's gonna be amazing. And look at me, I'm 42 going on 43. You talk about 43 years old in November.
And you're the champ.
Man, it's gonna be a time that is gonna stop. Like I say, I love the fight. I love the game area. I love the camp life. To be prepared for fight. But also I'm 43, 42 going on 43. So it's time to start thinking about it. I wanna retire from the sport. I don't want to do sport to retire me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've seen some guys where that's happened, and you don't want that.
Yes, see some of that. And you see Khabib, man. I take my hat off to Khabib when he retired in the top. It's like there's no motivation by money. It doesn't care if you make 10, 20 million. They offer him so much money. It's not going back because he's just done. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And that's gonna be me. The day that I don't want to do it anymore, man. That I don't want to get myself into this going is going to be the time that I'm done. Like I say, I love the camp. What's hard right now, it's off camp. Because off camp for me, I have to be in this is in my mind, in a decent shape and always checking my weight. And I'm always kind of because camp, I know I have that boom, that tunnel. And 3 more weeks for me now, and I'm feel good. My weight is good, and I just, you pay attention to what you have to do, and you're going. But off camp is kind of oh man, it does annoy because you have to be in sharp off camp, and it's come to a time that and that's what I say, because I say I can't wait until I'm free of this. I'm I can actually sit down anytime and hey man, have a hamburger and a beer and not think about it, my weight or the training tomorrow.
Right.
It's going to be fun.
Nice little glass of wine, something like that. You don't have to worry about it, right?
A glass of wine, I never worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not borrachinha, they don't cut weight, but I never worry about it. I drink a glass of wine anytime, man.
Even during camp?
Oh, yeah.
It's good for your heart?
Yeah, no, it's good for, yeah, definitely. It's good for your sleep. You calm me down, relax, you know. Don't do it too much like I usually do, you know. Off camp, I do a bottle easily.
Oh,
but
my God.
Yeah.
A bottle in one sitting?
Oh, man, you don't know me, Ariel.
Yeah, well,
you don't know me, man. We got to hang out a little more.
I know. You always hang out with my friend Chuck in Connecticut.
Ask your boy Chuck.
Yeah. What, all by yourself or you share it?
Oh, man. Well, I share if you want me to. If we share, we got to buy two.
Oh, my God. Is it red or white that you like? You like red, right?
Red.
Right. What's your favorite one?
Yeah, but hey, wine is nothing, man. Wine is nothing. I used to put down a bottle of whiskey, man, all the time. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
In one sitting?
It was wrong. Yeah. Oh, one sitting, one party. Yeah.
Jeez Louise. When's the last time you did that?
Last time I did that. Let me tell you, last time I did a bottle of whiskey. I drink so much. I drink a bottle of whiskey. I drink a bunch of Hennessy. I drink a bunch of was my fight got canceled for Anthony Johnson.
Oh,
my fight got canceled for Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson has some problems, so I was in camp. I was ready to go. I got so pissed. I said, you know what? Let's party. They called me. It was Saturday or something. I said, yeah, let's party. So we went out and we party, and you know, end up I think 3 weeks later, I had that fight with Anthony Johnson. It was the worst fight of my life. It was no fights, 13 seconds. So at that time, when I realized, like, hey man, I'm never gonna drink a hard liquor again until I'm done fighting, and I did. Of course, after the belt, I had to do it. When I won the belt in Abu Dhabi, Olasky was there. Andre Olasky was there with the bottle of whiskey, and I was like, I gotta get sick of this, you know. And we drink it, but yeah, no hard liquor, man.
I saw you sent a nice message to Jan before his fight, and then of course he wins. It was unfortunate the way he won, and he says now he hopes that he'll fight, you know, the winner of this fight, either you or Jiri. Do you think that the performance and the victory warranted a title shot?
That's not my job to think, you know. The reason I say is he's the number 2 and he fought Radic, right?
Rakic, yeah.
Rakic, yeah. And the Rakic was on the line for the title. That's the reason I say. I just look at I say if Radic win, he's going to fight for the title next. No doubt about it. He wanted to jump in before Jiri. He wants to fight Jiri. He think Jiri is not, you know. And Jan beat him, whatever it is, you know. When you go over there, my friend, you go over there to fight, and whatever happens. And that's what I figure. Jan is the next, man. I was gonna be Redick, and now it can't be Jan, you know. So I don't know. That's what I say, and I think he's next. Who else would be next?
You'd be okay with that, fighting him again?
Yeah, I'd love to fight him again.
I was thinking
Jan is a great guy, man.
Yeah.
It'd be a nice, you know, like I'll give him a nice bottle of wine this time. He gave me a beer last time.
I know. He's a great guy. He's one of the best.
Great guy.
I was just thinking an interesting story if they didn't want to give it to him, and I'd be totally fine with it. Imagine if Anthony Smith beats Magomed Ankalaev, and then we have the rematch of your fight. Remember, he got blasted for it because you beat him up so bad in the corner and all that stuff, and now here's his opportunity to right that wrong. I feel like there's a great story to be told there as well. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course. Anthony Smith, too, you know, is another great guy. It's not about like a great guy. It's about who's next in the line.
Sure.
You know, who's the best guy over there to fight, yeah. Any of those guys, Ankalaev too, he's a great fighter. I talked to him in Abu Dhabi. He was there. He fought the same night. I say, hey, man, I know you're going to go all the way to the top, and you're probably going to go to the title. And I told him, I shake his hand. I say, I'm going to beat the title. I'm probably going to see you soon. And look at here, you know, this thing is going on. If he beat Anthony Smith or Anthony, like I say, I that's not my job, you know. I'm off there, so I just like I'll be on call, man. I'm gonna go. Right now, only want to focus is Jiri. If I beat Jiri, and I will, and just be on my phone. Whoever,
Whenever.
I like to be. I like to be in New York because they're fighting everywhere except around here.
Right. Abu Dhabi, Singapore. I just want to ask you two last things because you're a veteran of the game, and then I'll let you go. The first one is, what did you think of Charles getting stripped because he was a half pound over? Did you agree with that?
Yeah, man, he's still the champion for me. For everybody in his mind, he's probably the champ. It was crazy. I was ridiculous. If he was a couple pounds, it'd be like I would say unprofessional. And his part, but he's a half pound, and everybody knows about the scale problem. And man, he's the champion, man. He's still the champion. And if they strip them, that's the law, and that's the law. But hey,
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, that's wrong." It is kind of wrong, but what are you gonna do? It's a law.
Yeah. And what about a hot topic? It's always been a hot topic: judging, scoring fights, and whatnot. I want to see open scoring, where the fighters know what the score is in the middle of the fight. Would you be in favor of this? You've been fighting for so long, 20 years now. Would you like to know what the score is in the fight, or do you like the current system where you only find out after?
No, to know is good, man. Of course, for the coaches, for everybody, it's good because a lot of times I'm in the corner too, and like even with the Alex Pereira last fight, he looked at me and he say, and his foot was hurt, and he looked at me and he say, "Hey, you think if I keep it this pace is good?" And I didn't know. I was like, no, man, just go in there and give it all. Give you all. Take this guy's out of there. Don't take it to the decision. So he pushed a little more. Because what are you gonna say? You're gonna say to the guy, "Yeah, this pace is good. You're winning." But when you know for sure, hey man, you're 2 rounds above, just don't get knocked out. But I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be as exciting. For maybe, who knows, man? Like myself, if I got knocked out by Gustafsson because my coach come to me and say, "You want to win this fight? You going over there and you knock this guy out." So I went after, I went after the whole 5 rounds. But that last round, I was like, I have to stay here. I have to either kill or die, But that's my mind. But who knows, man? You're gonna go see some born-ass fighters that they already know they're winning. They're gonna be like, "Oh man, I'm winning. I don't have to do anything else. Just moving around." And maybe the other guy is already losing. He don't want to push it. So I don't know. Could be bad. Could be bad.
By the way, you mentioned Alex. You think if he wins his next fight, he's ready for Izzy? Like, based on what you're seeing from an MMA standpoint, you think he'd be ready for that jump? Or, I mean, that's a big-time fight he has, right? He's got Sean Strickland.
Yes. It's nothing, taking nothing away from Jiri, I mean, from Adesanya, But I think Alex has been ready for Adesanya. In the first fight in UFC, I knew he was going to climb the ladder. I already know because they style making fights, and Alex getting better and better and better, man. The guy's the fighting IQ is so high, he's so smart. You don't understand this guy is a genius when it comes to fight, man. He'll talk to Lyoto say the things that he say only Lyoto's father say to him.
Wow.
And when he see the thing, he learning so fast. This is about grappling, all right? But for Adesanya, he was ready before he got in UFC. He was ready for the first fight he had in UFC,
Wow. That's a big statement.
Because of their style,
Right.
I don't think Adesanya have the ground to beat him or take this. Is going to be a striking battle.
By the way, what about Anderson, huh? Still, I mean, look at Anderson over there. You see him this weekend?
Anderson, man. Anderson is the man that you look and I look at him when he was a champion of the world and training in Brazil, and I look him training, man, and I say, I think if I train that way, I feel I feel bad, like I don't feel good to go in a fight because he trains so relaxed, so nice, moving around. But I learned some of the training with Anderson in my old age now, and it's working, man. Those things that he does, man, he's because he take care of himself very well.
Right, he's 47. You still got like 5 more years to catch up. You can still keep going. He's killing it.
That motivation.
That's right. Don't listen to these people trying to get you to retire, all right? 5 more years, Glover as champ. Why not? You could break John Jones's record.
Hey, man, who knows? The reality is this, I'm at the point right now in my life, like I say, the money is good. Yes, like Cormier said, money is always good, you want to buy, what do you want to buy? You want to buy a house in the beach in Brazil? Or then you keep fighting. But I'm in a position that I can stop at any time, man. I can just do this for fun and stop when I don't feel like to do it anymore. I don't, and if boxing comes around to box one of those guys, I'll box a little bit. But I'm just enjoying day by day, man. And that's what I say, like, hey, man, if it's a perfect scenario, I defend this belt 2 times. I call it a day. I'm tired of this shit, and then I don't have to train and fight anymore. Hey, it's a possibility. It's a possibility of fighting for another 5 more years. Who knows? Let's see what I'm not thinking about the future. I only think about the now, man.
And the now is June 11th in Singapore. Glover, you're the man. Good luck to you. Safe travels over there, and good luck in the fight. Can't wait to see you back in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Obrigado. There he is. Glover Teixeira, the reigning defending UFC light heavyweight champion. He returns to action on June 11th. And I can't wait. What about that? What do you say? A bottle of Hennessy in one sitting? Sounds like a night out with Frank.
Those are rookie numbers.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Golly. A bottle of red wine? Is that what he said?
Hennessy.
No, he also said the red wine.
Oh, I missed that part.
Sounds like a night out with Frank. Can you do a bottle of Hennessy in one sitting?
Ariel, we should probably move on.
Why? Is that too personal? The freaking champ just admitted it. Can we show our next guest is Mariusz Pudzianowski. We have some photos. I just want to show people, in case you're a little newer to the game, Mariusz Pudzianowski is an absolute... Can we put up some of his photos right here on the screen, just so people understand what we're dealing with here? An absolute living legend, returning to action this Saturday, KSW 70 against Michal Materla. I mean, look at this guy. If we could just go on the... Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's one of the strongest human beings to ever grace this earth. 5-time world's strongest man. Holds the record for most strongman titles, 5. Made his MMA debut in 2009. By the way, shout out to the great Alan Murphy for some of these factoids. I mean, look at this guy. He's pulling a freaking truck. Now been an MMA fighter longer than a professional strongman. Currently on a 4-fight winning streak. Beloved in his home country of... I mean, look at these photos. Beloved in his home country of Poland. Absolute legend. 45 and still going strong. On a winning streak, like I said. Fighting as a heavyweight. You better believe it. I mean, look at those thighs. A legend. And what a great honor it is to have him on the program. He returns to action this Saturday. There's no UFC. There's no Bellator. There's no PFL. It's only KSW 70. And you can watch it on KSWTV.com at the Atlas Arena in Łódź, Poland. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Michal Materla, the former KSW middleweight champion, moving up to heavyweight to fight the living legend, the GOAT, as far as strongman is concerned, Mariusz Pudzianowski. And he is kind enough to join us. I mean, this is royalty right here. Wow. Mariusz, my friend, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Okay.
Wow, look at this microphone you got set up here. And this is Dominic?
Hello, nice to see you again, Ariel.
Yes.
English is not perfect. Dominic, help me.
Okay, this is great. Well, what an honor. I mean, when they told me that I could speak to Mariusz Pudzianowski, and I'm saying your name correctly, right? Not Pudzianowski, it's Pudzianowski.
Pudzianowski is okay, yes.
Yes, I said, wow, this would be a huge honor for me. I've been watching you for so many years, and you're a legend, strongman, 5-time champion, now doing MMA longer than you did strongman. So I'll start there. Are you surprised that you have stuck around with MMA as long as you have? You've been doing this now for over a decade, and I think when you started, people weren't sure how long you would stick around. Are you surprised? Have you exceeded your own expectations in the sport?
Czy nie jesteś zaskoczony, że tak długo ci się udało być w tym sporcie i czy to nie jest tak, że nawet ty sobie nie wyobrażałeś, że tak długo będziesz, czy nie jesteś sam zaskoczony tym, że ci się udało tak długo zostać w tym sporcie?
15 years ago, when I go to MMA, many times think maybe I go to 2-3 fights, maybe maximum. Okay, when I talking with the boss from KSW, oh, hey guys, maybe I fight only 2 times, maximum 2 times, because only for fun.
Yeah.
Okay, first time, fast win. Second time, is a good opponent, Kawaguchi. He have 12 win, 1 loss. It's hard for me. It's okay. When finish second fight with Kawaguchi, second round, hey guys, you finish? My trainer, Mariusz, you finish. When is finished? Because I don't have condition and my head is not think. Finish, hey guys, because I don't have condition, nothing. Hey, Mariusz, finish. Come back. What? You finish? Yes. Later go to US, fight with Sylvia. Oh, I am crazy. Sylvia, show me first time what is this MMA. After this fight with Sylvia, when I back to Poland, I told to my friend, never beat me next guy. And go to hard training slowly, step by step, slowly, and go to heavy training. And now I am 13 years in MMA. Before, two fights finish.
Crazy. What a story. Now you've been doing MMA. And by the way, great English. We don't even need Dominic here. The guy's amazing.
English is not perfect.
I'm here just to take some fame from him.
Of course. So at this point, not only are you still fighting, you're on a winning streak. You're in your mid-40s, 45. You're still selling out events. You're still a star. And that last fight that you just had against Bombardier, that was something else. What a knockout it was. As far as all your finishes concerned, because how big that man was, is that one of your favorites?
I czy to jest jedna z twoich ulubionych walk i ulubionych wygranych ze względu na to, jak on był wielkim gościem, jaki to był potężny knockout?
Za każdym razem, kiedy wchodzę do... Every time when I go to fight is big challenge. All the time when I go to fight is a lot of thing. All the time is challenge. Big challenge, because every time is new opponent, is new challenge, not fun. All the time, a lot of things is big challenge. Jest duże wyzwanie, za każdym razem to jest.
A czy z Bombardierem była jakaś szczególna dla ciebie, właśnie, że dzięki temu, jak ci się udało wygrać?
Nie, to znaczy, to było duże wyzwanie, bo nie wiedziałem, na co go stać.
Okay, so it was a big challenge because I had no idea what he is capable of, because I didn't know how good in MMA he is. So that was special challenge for me, but every fight is a huge challenge. Every time when I step into the cage, it's always like a big challenge, and I'm always like the same. I feel always the same pressure.
Have you had to dramatically change your body, change the way your body works? Because when you were doing a strongman, it was all about power and pushing and this and that. But as you know, when you become an MMA fighter, cardio is a big thing. So was that something that you had to learn over time? And did you feel like maybe early on you were a little naive about, okay, I can just go in here and fight? But now as an MMA fighter, to have this longevity, have you had to change things drastically about your body? And if so, what, in order to have this long career in the sport?
I czy to się wszystko pozmieniało?
MMA is different sport than strongman. I must everything change. My body is changed. 8 lat musiałem trenować minimum, żeby wytrzymać chociaż 2 rundy po 5 minut, więc to było przekształcenie całego ciała, ciężka praca. Podnoszenie ciężarów, a MMA zupełnie inne sporty, inny wysiłek.
Okay, I had to train 8 years to drastically change my body and the kind of way that my body is functioning, because like I couldn't stand 5 minutes or 10 minutes for 8 years of my training. I wasn't capable of doing the whole 10 minutes of like 2 rounds in MMA. So it was like, it's totally different. The weightlifting and MMA is like two worlds.
Są zupełnie inne sporty. To nie ma nic wspólnego siła ze strongmana, a siła z MMA to nie ma nic wspólnego.
So even the strength in MMA and in weightlifting is totally different. It's not like that when you can lift like 300 kilograms in strongman doesn't mean that this strength will be also as good in MMA, because this is different kind of strength.
What would happen if they tried to get you to go back to strongman? Could you even do it based on how your body is functioning now, or do you think you wouldn't be as good as you were when you were competing over there?
Czy to byłoby możliwe ze względu na to, jak przekształciłeś swoje ciało?
Znowu potrzebowałbym minimum 4-5 lat, żeby wrócić do tego.
I will need like 4 or 5 years to come back to strongman. I would have to change everything drastically again.
Wow, that is fascinating.
Tyle samo lat potrzebowałem rozbroić się i żeby uzbroić się od nowa, więc...
Yeah, I will need the same amount of time to change my body again for strongman competition.
By the way, when you were competing in strongman, what was your favorite event?
I kiedy startowałeś w strongmanach, jaki był twój ulubione wydarzenie, które? Albo który event or the competition?
Competition, right? Competition.
Yeah,
ze wszystkich konkurencji była tylko jedna, której nie lubiłem, a resztę wygrywałem. Przerzucanie bali, tak zwane fingers, takie przerzucanie bali. Tylko jednej, której nie lubiłem. I wszyscy o tym wiedzieli i specjalnie mi to wkładali.
So I loved all the competition, but one, and it was like the
I zawsze mi to wkładali.
The one when you have this...
Fingers takie. To takie przerzucanie bali.
So you have this huge tree.
To się nazywało fingers, takie przerzucanie.
Fingers, is that the name?
Takie przerzucanie bali.
So you have like the huge
5-metrowe kłody drzewa, przerzucanie na drugą stronę.
5 meters of a tree, and you have to
do góry i przerzucić na drugą stronę, takie przerzucanie.
To pull it over some kind of stick or something.
Oh gosh.
He hated it, and so they always put it in the competition because they wanted Mariusz to lose some points.
Wow, you felt they were trying to get him to lose. He felt.
Dotrenowałem to i zrobiłem prawie rekord świata, jak się uparłem na to.
Pyta, czy to było tak, że dawali ci temu właśnie, żebyś tracił punkty?
Tak.
Yes, yeah, they did it on purpose.
Celowo to było robione. Bo nie było dla mnie, po prostu nie mieli dla mnie, po prostu, żeby coś się działo, bo byłem zapewny, że wygrywam.
Okay, so they did it on purpose because they knew that this is the only place there can be some kind of competition,
żeby
because
ktoś ze mną wygrać.
I was too good in the over challenges, so there was no place to even have some kind of rivalry. So they put it on purpose, and I was so motivated to be the best even in this competition that I almost have a record of the world in this competition.
Wow.
Also.
What a legend. Have they tried to get you to come back to strongman over the years?
Próbowali, żebyś wrócił do strongman?
Chcieli, ale już ja nie chcę.
They tried, but I don't want.
Teraz jeżdżę co tydzień na zawody i w Polsce, i do Europy jako sędzia.
Okay, I'm a referee on the competition like every week in Poland and in Europe. Last week I was in one of the events.
Co tydzień jeżdżę po zawodach. Jestem związany, ale już tylko sędzia.
So I'm still like involved in this in the strongman world, but I don't want to be a competitor anymore.
Okay.
Ale jeszcze wchodzę na konkurencję i wygrywam. Wchodzę czasami na konkurencję i wygrywam tę konkurencję.
From time to time, I'm trying to challenge over competitors, and I try to
niektóre konkurencje
to do some kind of challenges, and I win from time to time.
I don't doubt it, because you're the greatest of all time.
Dawno wygrałem nawet konkurencję z zawodnikami wszystkimi.
Okay. Now, not a long time ago, I won one of the competitions.
Of course. Now, 45, you're still competing, you're still winning. How many more fights do you want to have?
5 lat i cały czas startujesz, jak wiele walk jeszcze ci
Nie wiem, nie zastanawiam się na tym. Po prostu sport mnie bawi. Nie zastanawiam się, kiedy skończę.
I'm not thinking about it right now. I want to do it as long as I will have fun. So right now I don't have any kind of date. I just want to do it.
Mogę tego nie robić, a robię, bo po prostu mnie bawi to.
I could like quit in a moment anytime because I don't have to do it, but I still have fun out of it. So there is no discussion right now.
Now, here's what I'm wondering. I mean, I'm about to turn 40, Mariusz. I look nothing like you. What do I have to eat? What do you eat on a daily basis, Mariusz, to look this good at 45? I mean, you are a specimen. You're like a Greek god out there. Well, tell us, what do you eat on a daily basis?
Systematycznie trenować.
I co jesz na co dzień?
Ja jem wszystko. Wszystko. Kuchnię polską przede wszystkim i wszystko, czekolady. Ja wszystko jem.
Okay, so you have to train a lot. That's the first thing.
Sure.
But when it comes to any kind of meals, I eat everything, mostly Polish cuisine. So you have to eat.
Ale systematyczne, codzienne trenowanie od lat.
But you have to train every day systematically for many years to look like
6 days in a week. Train systematic, training slowly, step by step. Training in morning, 1 hour, warm up. After job, 1 hour, 1.5, normal, slowly, systematic training. Not heavy training, only systematic, slowly, normal training.
Wow.
Not hard, not heavy, systematic, slowly training.
Wow. Who got you into this type of training? Like, who introduced you to this lifestyle when you were younger?
Prowadzić taki tryb życia, żeby tak trenować.
Sam się po prostu nauczyłem.
You just did it.
So I was the one who invented.
Nauczyłem głowę po prostu systematyczności.
Yeah, I turned myself into this kind of machine. I just put the pressure on myself to do it like this every day, to be systematical and to do it.
Wow. Why though?
Yes.
Czy pada deszcz, czy jest mróz 20 stopni, ja zawsze wstaję w 5:45 rano. Biegam, ciężarki, rozciąganie brzuch. Od 15 lat to robię, kiedy przyszedłem do MMA.
So there is no matter what kind of weather there is, I always, every day I wake up at 5:30, 5:30, right?
Yeah.
In the morning, I go to train and I do it for 15 years. Like from the beginning when I decided to go to MMA, I do it every day for 15 years.
But in terms of like the bodybuilding and all that stuff, the weightlifting, why did you start to get so into it? Like, what inspired you to devote your life to this?
Żeby poświęcić życie na przykład wcześniej do podnoszenia ciężarów, żeby w ogóle prowadzić takie sportowe
Będąc
życie.
małym chłopcem, ojciec we mnie to zaszczepił. Ja miałem wtedy 8-9 lat. Ojciec przypuszczał. Tak myślę, że to po prostu widziałem, co ojciec robi i to chyba w głowie mi zostało.
So when I was like about 8-9 years old, my father like showed me that this kind of way of this lifestyle.
Ciężarowcem.
Because he used to be a weightlifter. So I don't know if like he told me that it's a good thing to do, but I think that I just saw him doing that and I told to myself deep inside that this is the kind of way I want to live. So I just like...
Będąc małym chłopcem, 5-latkiem, 6-latkiem, ja widziałem, jak ojciec to robi. I chyba to zostało tak. Nie wiem, tak mi się wydaje.
So I don't know, because I'm always like this, but I think that when I was 5-6 years old, I was watching my dad doing this kind of style, living this lifestyle, and I decided that this is also my way.
I read a few years ago that you said you don't follow any kind of particular diet. You never have. You eat anything you want, whenever you want, even junk food and things like that. Still at this age you do this?
Że nie masz konkretnej diety, tylko jesz wszystko, czy nawet jesz świństwa, czekolady.
Nie mam żadnej diety. Potrafię zjeść 30 czekolad, 2 kartony mleka. Nie ma problemu dla mnie. 2-3 kilo lodów zjeść potrafię sobie leżąc w łóżku i nie mam problemu z brzuchem i cały czas po prostu kostka na brzuchu jest.
Okay, so I don't have any kind of particular diet. I eat everything. I can eat 30 bars of chocolate and drink 2 cartons of milk. Then I can eat like 5 pounds of ice creams in bed. It's like I eat whenever I want, whatever I want, whenever I want, and I always have this like beautiful muscles on my body.
It's incredible. By the way,
nigdy nie miałem żadnej diety. Nigdy.
I never had any kind of diet.
Incredible.
Nigdy.
Okay, I will do the same. No diet for me. Do you still fly helicopters?
czy cały czas latasz helikopterami?
And where do you go with the helicopters?
Mam w swoim hangarze stoją helikoptery.
Pytał, czy gdzie latasz, jak
Po
latasz?
całej Polsce latam, po całej Europie mogę latać helikopterami.
Yeah,
Latam cały czas helikopterami po
I have
Polsce.
a few helicopters in my warehouse, and I flew all over the Poland by helicopters.
Do you like to be? I mean, you're world renowned, but you're obviously very famous in Poland. Do you like being a celebrity, or do you prefer kind of? I know you have a farm. You like to grow things. Do you prefer to be out of the public eye? You emerge when you fight, but then you go back to sort of seclusion, and no one recognizes you.
No, że masz swoje sprawy, że lubisz być rolnikiem i tak dalej, no ale też jesteś strasznie popularny, jesteś olbrzymim celebrytą w Polsce w znaczeniu tym, że jesteś bardzo popularny, nie że się na ściankach wodzisz. To czy lubisz właśnie to, że jesteś tak popularny, czy chciałbyś troszeczkę mieć więcej spokoju?
Ja mam cały czas spokój, bo żyję sobie na wsi.
Yeah, so I
Wychodzę tylko jak muszę. I jak Federacja KSW mnie zmusza. O.
So I don't have a problem with like being popular because I live countryside and like I'm living there by myself. I don't have a lot of people nearby, so it's basically I'm living my life, and I always live it. This like calm place when I have any kind of interviews, when I do this kind of stuff ahead of KSW events. But most of the time I just live by myself in my home, and I do whatever I want there.
By the way, your whole career, what is it? 16 wins, 7 losses, 1 no contest. Every fight except for one was in KSW. All of the vast majority in Poland, UK here and there, but there was the one in the US, Musin, Tim Sylvia. Were you ever approached about fighting for one of the major US promotions over the years, UFC in particular? There's Bellator, there's been Strikeforce, Elite. Have any of these promotions ever tried to get you to come over to fight for them?
KSW mi się pracuje
A czy one kiedykolwiek się do ciebie odzywały?
Odzywałem, mam dużo propozycji z Zachodu, z Niemiec, z różnych krajów, ale KSW spełnia moje wszystkie wymagania finansowe.
Okay, so I never fought to work for other organization, but through years I had a lot of propositions from a lot of other companies.
Federacja może sprostać moim wymaganiom, a KSW naprawdę sprostało.
But there is no a lot of companies which can organizations which can pay me the amount of money I want, but KSW does it. So there's no discussion. I'm really good with KSW.
Okay,
Pierwszym razem, żeby mnie ściągnąć, musieli się zapożyczyć, żebym mógł wystąpić u nich. I to jest prawda.
So KSW
musieli się włodarze zapożyczyć u różnych ludzi, żebym chciał przyjść do nich.
So ahead of my KSW debut, KSW owners had to take a loan to pay my fee, but they did it, and right now they have.
Historia.
It's a true story. So they took a loan to pay for my first fight, but then there was never a problem to do it.
Who was the one that convinced you to go from strongman to MMA? Was there someone in particular that said, "Hey, you should try this," or was it your idea?
W MMA, czy była jakaś osoba, która cię do tego zmotywowała, czy to był
Nie, po prostu mój pomysł, po prostu miała być to chwilowa zabawa.
Yeah, that was my idea. I just wanted to have fun for a while, for a few fights, but you see what the outcome.
Miały być to 2 walki tylko.
It's supposed to be like 2 fights.
Yeah,
in MMA,
amazing.
not more.
Do you follow the Polish fighters that are fighting here in the U.S., like Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jan Blachowicz? A lot of them came from, KSW. Do you follow them as well?
Tak, jak już jestem w tym środowisku, oglądam często zawodników z Polski.
Yeah, of course I follow my fellow countrymen. Like fighters from Poland.
And this fight, what did you make of it when they offered it to you? Michal Materla is a former middleweight champion, going up to heavyweight to fight you. So now it's kind of different than your last fight where the Bombardier guy was gigantic. Did you like this idea? Because now you're the bigger dude, and one might say that you should run through him. Although he's a lot more, I guess, accomplished in his career. So what did you think about this idea when it was proposed to you?
Ale z drugiej strony to jest człowiek, który ma bardzo dużo osiągnięcia w tej swojej kategorii, ogólnie jest bardzo tytułowanym zawodnikiem, więc co ty w ogóle uważasz o tym?
Na każdym poziomie jest to duże wyzwanie. Bombardier był ode mnie cięższy o prawie 40 kg, a tu Michał będzie ode mnie lżejszy o 10 kg, bo Michał różnica między mną a Michałem będzie 10-12 kg, nieduża. Między Bombardierem a mną była dużo większa różnica.
So both of these fights are really big, are really big challenges. Like Bombardier was heavier. 40 kg?
Tak, Bombardier 155, a 115.
So Bombardier was heavier by 40 kilograms, which is about 80 pounds, I think, 90 pounds, something like this. So Michal will also be a big challenge because there will be only about 12 kilograms difference between us, because I will be about 112, so it's about 250 pounds, and he will be around 100 kilograms. So
MMA, wszystko zdarzyć się może.
So it's about 210 pounds, right? So it's everything can happen. It's like it's MMA, you know. It's basically he can win, I can win. It's everything is possible.
Considering his resume, if you win on Saturday, would you say it will be the most impressive win of your career?
Patrząc na to, jakie ma dokonania, jakie ma CV Michal Materla, czy jeśli z nim wygrasz, to będzie twoje największe zwycięstwo, tak na papierze, najlepszy zawodnik, jakiego pokonałeś?
Nie traktuję to przez pryzmat taki. Po prostu jest to nowe wyzwanie.
Okay, so this is not the way I look on fights. I'm not making any kind of compares, right?
Yeah.
I just treat each fight as a challenge, and this is how I approach fights.
Okay, fair enough. I think it would be very impressive. You're the underdog, by the way, but I'm going with you, Mariusz.
Michał ma więcej do stracenia niż ja.
Okay, so Michal has more to lose than I, so
more pressure on him, right?
Ja wychodzę, mam dobrą walkę dać, a Michał musi wygrać.
Yeah, so Michal has to win, and I only have to go there and have fun, and I have to show a good fight and show people what I'm capable of. But Michal has to win this fight.
I love it. Okay, one last thing before I let you go. Is there anything left in your athletic career that you haven't accomplished yet that you would love to accomplish? That is really something that you want to make happen in the next few years?
Jako sportowiec jestem spełniony pod każdym względem. Chcę tylko być zdrowy i bez kontuzji. I nic mi więcej do szczęścia nie potrzebne.
So as a fighter, as an athlete, I accomplish everything. I don't have anything more to prove. I don't have anything more to gain.
Mam karierę sportową fajną, mam pieniądze dobre i teraz tylko chcę być zdrowy i sportem się bawić.
I had a good career.
I uczciwie trenować oczywiście.
I have a lot of money, so I want to have fun. I want to be healthy, and I want to train hard because this is what I like.
Do you have any children?
Czy masz dzieci?
Muszę poszukać.
So I will translate it that way. So none which I know about.
Okay. Right.
Może tak. Może powiem to w ten sposób, co powiem. Jestem spełniony jako facet pod każdym względem. Okay.
So
a jak jest inteligentny, zrozumie.
So I also accomplish everything as a man, not only as an athlete, as a man. So if you will get it between the lines, it's up to you.
Mariusz, well done to you. I was just wondering if you had any kids that wanted to follow in your footsteps, to be strongman, to be fighter.
Masz jakieś dzieci, które by chciały iść twoimi śladami, czy wychowujesz kogoś takiego na ten?
Dzisiaj jeszcze nie wychowuję nikogo takiego, ale wszystko jest możliwe.
Not now, but who knows? Maybe in the future I will have someone like this. Now I don't have time for this kind of activities.
Yes. Okay. Maybe some other activities. Mariusz, you're the man. Let's see it. Let's get a thing, Mariusz. Here. Let's see. Oh my gosh! Look at that. You can't even fit it. Let's see. How are the abs looking? How are the abs? Let's see them. How are the abs? Look at that. No. What about here? Right here. Oh my God. Lift the shirt for us, Mariusz. Lift the shirt for us.
Bigger than my head.
Oh my gosh, Mariusz, you're a beast. Well done, my friend. Thank you so much. Legend. Good luck. A real honor to have you on this show, and I wish you the best on Saturday and the rest of your career. And Dominic, great job once again. Really appreciate your time. KSW 70 in Łódź. Is it Łódź, Poland? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, Łódź. Yes,
your
great.
Pronunciation is on point, my friend.
Can I tell you one of my dreams? I want to attend a KSW event. I want to be there when Mariusz fights one of these days in the next couple of years. This is one of my bucket list things. I've never had a chance to go to a KSW event. I would like to be there.
You are always invited.
Thank you. Mariusz, I can come when you fight. I would like to be at one of your fights. Yes?
Why not? Come.
Okay, let's go. Thank you.
We can
guys.
arrange the thing that you will give a trophy to a winner of.
Wow. I could be in the cage and give a trophy? Okay.
Not a problem.
I would love to do it. Thank you,
It's
guys.
on me. Just
I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. All the best. Take care.
Thank you.
Mariusz Pudzianowski, the legend. Pudzianowski. Wow. Did you see those arms? Wow. What a freaking legend. What a legend. I mean, that guy. No kids that he knows of. I mean, what a guy. I love it. This is one of the, it's truly one of the bucket list things that I would love to accomplish. I want to go to a KSW event. Those events are so much fun. And like I said, this weekend, there ain't much going on. It's pretty much KSW. If you're an MMA fan, it's KSW 70 on KSWTV.com. And there are some other recognizable names, by the way. Not only is it Mariusz Pudzianowski against Michal Materla, 31-8, Michal, moving up from middleweight. Former UFC fighter Daniel Omelianchuk is fighting in the co-main event against Ricardo Prassel. Ricardo Prassel, by the way, former Contender Series alumni and former Chelsea FC goalkeeper, and one of New York Ric's favorite fighters, Jason Wilness. Aren't you a big Jason Wilness guy, New York Ric? I feel like you've talked about him back in the day. Former Glory fighter who once beat a guy by the name of Israel Adesanya. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Awesome fighter. Excited about his MMA career. Controversially beat Israel Adesanya. If you ask Israel Adesanya,
listen, a win is a win is a win.
He would have.
How did he controversially beat him?
How much time we got? That was a very interesting event. The ring was very small, was very tiny, and this was like a day of kind of switch. There was a problem getting it on the stage, and then they had to come up with a solution to get the ring on there. Very small ring, which helped obviously Wilness, who's a much more head down aggressive fighter. Israel obviously moves a lot. We've seen him in the octagon, counter striker. So that was one thing, and then just not dissimilar to how we've been talking about MMA, controversial scoring thing.
Let's go.
A fight where polarizing, right? Like if you're on the side of the Wilness style, the much more traditional Dutch style, you'll say Jason won that fight. If you're on the more finesse style that Israel employs, you'll say he won that fight. But either way, a very competitive, great fight. Wilness was the champion in glory for a bit. Definitely one of those guys in MMA. Robin van Roosmalen, Israel, Wilness. Those are the guys. Alex. Those are the guys you want to pay attention to.
Now, what do you think if I'm in the cage at one of these events handing over a trophy like Dominic said? Appropriate or inappropriate for me?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, why don't you know what? Just show up at the strongman competitions, hand out trophies there.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I feel like they would let me, can I corner someone? Can I just be, I feel like, wouldn't that be great?
That's what they need. They need you in the corner shouting advice at them.
They put on a great show. We've
Yeah.
talked about this a lot. The
Absolutely.
ring announcers, legendary. The announcers are great. The lights, the entrances, the video packages are really, really fun. I'm a fan. You know who else is a fan?
Who's
Kaposa? Kaposa's the number one KSW.
Is there
guy.
something? Could you have named anything that Kaposa isn't a fan?
No,
or
but I
at
feel
least
like a lot
watches?
of our KSW knowledge comes from Kaposa, if I'm being honest.
For sure. I feel like, maybe let's not go on too long about this, but shout out to Kaposa because all of our knowledge of some of these more obscure promotions or even promotions that are not necessarily in the spotlight all the time comes from Kaposa on Twitter. So shout out to the man.
KSW 70 this Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's Mariusz Pudzianowski against Michal Materla. This is what we do on this program, okay? We ain't these Johnny-come-latelys. They're like, oh, there's nothing to watch. No. We will find you something to watch. And not only that, we're giving you strongman legends on this program, okay? Now, more on Puja's fight in a moment and more on this past weekend's action in a moment because we have to reconvene. There's a few more things that I need to talk to GC and NewYorkRic about. But before we get to all that, a quick word from DraftKings. How was that pause, Frank? Was that good enough? Or
That's what we call a pregnant pause.
that you asked for a pause?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I delivered.
Thanks.
Too long?
No, it was great.
10 months?
You should keep doing it.
Not quite 9. NBA playoffs, my friends. Can we use this one at the top of the show and not last week's show as the ad?
Oh, we're 2 weeks now with this ad. So
No, but I mean, like last week, it was
evergreen.
the ad instead of the. It was the show
that's
instead of the ad.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I thought we turned the page on that one.
But also, I have noticed like it's not the updated because now I want to say Golden State Warriors are up. The Celtics and Heat are involved in a rock'em sock'em slobber knocker at the moment. NBA playoff action heating up, and it's nonstop over at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, guys, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win. Get $150 in free bets if they do. Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during the NBA playoffs with DraftKings same-game parlays? You can do just that. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, total threes made, total rebounds, and more. And boom shakalaka, you have a shot at an even bigger payout. Right now, all customers can place a same-game parlay with 3 or more legs and get a free bet back to up to $25 if one leg doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. That's all you have to do. Use promo code the MMA Hour. That's very important. The MMA Hour. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's promo code the MMA Hour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. Must be 21 and older, Michigan only, minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Let's talk to the guys here for a second. I have a few things I need to get off my chest. NewYorkRic and GC, you guys there? Did you go home for the day?
No, we're here.
Okay.
I mean, does that joke now extend to GC? I feel like that was specific to me. He's here. I might check out, but no, he's
just a thing to
here.
say.
Sounds about right.
I have a lot to say, but can we just talk about Mariusz for a second?
All time.
I was like a pig in shit. I love that guy.
Can I just? I literally transcribed when you asked him about his diet. Let me read this one more time for the folks out there who missed it. I don't have any kind of particular diet. I eat everything. I can eat 30 bars of chocolate, drink 2 cartons of milk, then eat 5 pounds of ice cream in bed. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and I always have these beautiful muscles on my body.
God.
That is the man living life properly. That is the man right there.
I loved how the translator would kind of start saying it in English, and he would just keep feeding him more and more.
Yes.
It almost sounded like he was correcting him.
Yeah, he speaks really good English. Like
he actually really does.
He's just listening to him speak English. I'm like, let me correct you a little bit because he speaks English.
Let me help you out, Dominic.
His English is great.
I read this quote from him, so I was wondering if he was going to give us like an Overeem thing about, I have my meal and then I sleep. And then he says, breakfast is 10 eggs and 2 to 3 pounds of bacon. Between meals, I eat lots of candy. In the morning, it will be several Three Musketeers and or Snickers bars. I need them for energy. Lunch at around 1 or 2 is a double meal of Polish pork chop, sauerkraut, and potatoes. An hour later, I work out. Then I take lots of supplements. Magnesium, creatine, amino acids, all that stuff, and more chocolate. Dinner is whatever meat I can grab, steaks, pork chops, bacon, plus more sauerkraut and potatoes. At 9 or 10 p.m., I work out again. Afterward, I have a protein shake and more chocolate. At 3 or 4 a.m., I wake up and have more chocolate, and then I go back to sleep.
I was going to say, when
30
does he
bars
sleep?
of chocolate.
Amazing.
It's going to be a hard time not taking him as a dog this weekend.
Honestly,
Pudzianowski and The Rock at a table together.
Oh my God, having that cheat meal and Overeem while we're at it. I pretty much convinced myself in that moment that he's my dog of the week.
We're going right back to the well, baby.
If there was ever a pick with your heart, not with your mind situation,
there it is right there.
It's right there. Wow.
He has your heart.
Kiss. And I mean, I feel like GCU kind of said like you're going to stay away from the non-UFC ones, but I mean, we got no choice.
Keep it light, yeah.
We got to ride with it.
I mean, we have to.
Hold on one second. Stop trying to rope him into this.
What?
Stop trying to rope him into this. This is your dog of the week. Because
I kind of planted the seed before the show.
I noticed early in the show at the very top, you said we.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah.
No, you botched the pick.
No, by the way,
the pick.
I say we ride. You say too on Twitter, GC.
Yeah.
You say
I told Rick that. I was like, I've been guilty of using the we.
I feel like that's the vernacular that we use in the betting
we
world.
Ride together, we die.
Yeah.
In the betting world. You in the betting
I feel like that's what people say.
Don't let him bring you down, GC. That's all.
And by the way, it's like the capital we. It's for everyone who chose
the
to
royal
ride.
we, right?
Yeah, everyone tried to ride with me, or at least some people rode with me. By the way, for the record, plus 150 is Mariusz. So
if Mariusz gets it done this weekend, it'll be so cool.
Oh my God!
It'll just be. It's just all
I have
the
to have him back. I'd have to have him back on the program. By the way, a quick programming note: no show next Monday because of Memorial Day. Victoria Day, we do a show. Memorial Day, we're off, so we'll have just one show next week, and that will be the Wednesday show to get you set for the highly anticipated card at the iconic UFC Apex. By the way, are they trolling me? The UFC
that was
Twitter
such
account?
a fantastic tweet.
They are trolling me. You think? 100%.
I mean, just like what's more beautiful in the world than
what's
the
a
empty
better-
UFC Apex? Like, I loved every response was just like a full crowd event.
Full crowd tagging me. I actually appreciate the troll. It's not the Fight Pass guys always troll me.
Fight Pass for sure.
The UFC account kind of pretends like I don't exist. Unfollowed me at some point too. I noticed.
Wow, that hurts.
I mean,
Yeah.
stop taking shots. And
By the way, I got. See, sometimes I just say too much. Someone unfollowed me. I saw someone unfollow me. It kind of hurt. Should I say it or should I not?
nah, don't come on, don't
Okay.
air out the dirty laundry. If
Why?
anything, we've seen.
They unfollowed
Michelle-
me.
Yeah, but don't let them know that it hurt you.
Okay, sorry.
We'll hear it after the show.
That's also a good point.
I clicked on it. And I was like, in the heart.
Now, I don't want to open old wounds here.
Yeah.
But how did you even see that they unfollowed you?
Great
I think
tweet.
I might know who it is.
I don't think so.
You
I'm checking.
noticed that they had a
Great tweet. Then I was like, oh, I haven't seen tweets from this guy in a while, which
Okay.
has nothing to do with the follow or unfollow. Maybe they blocked me for a second, but then I would have unfollowed.
I don't want to open old wounds here,
Yeah.
but there are scenarios where people get unfollowed accidentally.
No, but this one kind of makes sense.
This all
Okay.
again.
Okay.
This one kind of makes sense.
If this one makes sense, then I'm not going to say. But there is a thing. I'm not. I'm gonna open myself up to take some arrows here because a lot of people don't understand this.
Yeah.
There is a thing where older people who have been on Twitter for a while, more commonly, accounts will get unfollowed.
It's a good
So it is
point.
possible, and it is possible. I would maybe reach out to them if you're feeling some type of way about it. But now, if you're saying there's a justification, if you're saying there might have been a reason,
I feel like
that's
this
a
one
different story.
kind of makes sense.
Okay,
it's been
okay.
kind of, but I do feel better now that you say that. I won't lie. There's a part of me that wants to just kind of figure out
if
what
they've been on
happened.
Twitter for a while,
Yeah.
that-
They have.
that happens. That really does happen.
Anyway,
Contrary to-
how I figured it out, great tweet, hadn't seen tweet in a while, scrolling
Yeah.
through it, and I'm like, oh, it's not there. Why does it matter so much? Why does
Wait.
that matter so much?
Great tweet. Hadn't seen them in a while. Isn't that you unfollowing them then?
No. But I don't really look at Twitter like that. So I just wanted to catch up.
Oh, and then you clicked on their
Yeah, 'cause
profile.
I'm a
and
list
saw it.
guy,
Got it,
right?
got
So
it,
I-
got it,
That
got it, got it.
hurts, yeah, because Twitter puts it in your face.
Twitter
Instagram's
puts it in
kind
your
of
face.
hidden.
You kind of have to
bit.
look for it, right?
Yeah,
Why does that
Twitter's
matter
right in
so
your
much?
face.
Because I will admit, it does matter. Like you feel it's sort
It's
of
almost like a slight to you. It's almost like a
no. Why does the follow matter? The follow matters as much to me as the blue text. When I
The chat?
get someone, no, the text. If you give me your phone number and it's just like, oh, Marius, what's up? And all of a sudden they have blue. I instantly feel a connection with this human being.
Such a stupid.
No.
So
It's a
much.
connection. And then the
So
follow, I feel a connection with that
So
person.
dumb.
And
Follow, sure. The green bubble versus blue bubble thing is legit one of the dumbest things.
Also, to have followed
All
you
right.
at one point and then unfollowed you,
that hurts.
they had to go do it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Maybe not.
I
Yes.
actually also agree with the green to blue.
No,
I
the
mean,
green
you can't put the green in the group messages. It's a whole
You
mess.
guys are
you
outrageous
Android?
losers? No, come on. I would never own an Android, but I have
Exactly, there you
I have
go.
sympathy for my Android brethren.
I'm with Rick on this one.
Yes.
No, that's crazy. So I'll break the fourth wall for a second. I've started to work out with a trainer, just trying to up my
Oh,
game.
wow. All right. What kind of trainer? Like
Really
like
great. Oh,
lifting
this-
weights, or are we talking boxing again? What are we doing?
So no, now we're doing like the whole thing, not just solely boxing, but we do box. Actually,
CrossFit?
former collegiate wrestler, Guinness World Record holder.
Wow.
Is this Daniel Cormier? Who
I
is
was
it?
gonna say.
No. But get his phone number. Initially, his green text. I didn't feel the connection. Now I met him. We're good. I really like him a lot. But I
Yeah,
didn't feel
of course, because he's a human being.
I don't go to the
He's not
point
a
about it
green
like
bubble.
a connection for the
I
blue green.
I felt.
I like having the blue
This
bubble.
is such
feels
a Larry
like-
David moment.
No, it feels like something opens up. It feels like there's a barrier when it's green. Because here's the thing: if
Never
you
sure
text-
if they got it.
Exactly, because if you text someone who's blue and they're in the air or something, it goes to green, right? So I feel like our brains have been programmed for the green to signify some sort of barrier.
Speaking
Don't
for
know-
yourself only, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I
Because
guess.
this makes no sense.
I think that I feel like that's a pretty popular opinion to hate the green bubbles.
Hate it. Not only hate it, it makes me feel like you're distant.
Yeah, and then you met the guy, and he was a nice guy, and he was a normal human
Well,
being.
the
like
first
rest
question
of
I wanted to
everybody.
ask was, why do you have the green? You seem like a nice guy.
Yeah,
Why do you
this
have the
is-
green?
This is dreadful.
All right, might as well recap the weekend. since we've been talking about Santiago. I feel good about Santiago. I still don't. I mean, a loss is a loss. But
it was a very close fight. Yeah, he came on strong at the end, too. I thought he might pull it out.
By the way, what about GC in Atlanta, back home with the homies, still watching UFC Apex 58? I mean, I felt like that was pretty
55, but yeah.
55,
No, I actually was with a whole crew
I know.
at a bar, and I was streaming it. I had the portable charger and everything, streamed every fight. When they did the home Vieira decision, it was all crowded and loud. I had it up to my ear and everything to hear it.
I mean,
I was like, hold on, guys. Main event decision.
They couldn't put it up at the bar? I guess it's a plus event, right?
Yeah. No.
Can't be bothered down there.
Playoff hockey, playoff basketball.
That's
that
true.
takes a little bit of precedence over home Vieira.
Shelpaheda against Santiago.
Apex 55.
Right. All right. So how did we do?
We did well. We did very well. Let's go ahead and recap it here. Let's start it out. The singles. We go 5-2 on those. Riding into the H-Dow, we were perfect on the night. Was a little bit hoping home would pull it out, not only to win money, but also so I could just come on here and just play a huge blame train of, I would have had a perfect night if it wasn't for you.
Did you go with Santiago because of me?
Yeah, do you not remember the moment on the show? Like, we all decided together?
I guess. But, I mean, I thought that was for the show. Like, you wouldn't have done it had it not been for me?
No.
Damn it. All right, my bad.
But it would have been cooler had he pulled it out. We all would have rode together. Rick, Frank, I don't know if they actually put the bets in, but I did ride with Santiago here. Go to the parlays. We go 3-0 on the parlays. We hit like a little mini air fryer, plus 310. I called it the prop fryer. So we do well there. End up 5-2 singles, 3-0 parlays. Finish up 7.1 units on the week. We are now up 28 units in 2022. And we hit the 40 unit mark overall. So, pretty satisfactory week here heading into the UFC break.
Plus 40. That's
40.
Wild. Yo,
40.
all these jabrones online who call themselves MMA betting guru, blah, blah, blah. They're not at plus 40.
There are better bettors than me, but I'm not a capper. I'm not selling picks or anything here. Just a producer that gives out picks. So yeah,
What does a capper mean?
I don't know. You're like a professional gambler, professional bettor, tout. You sell picks, things like that. So yeah, we're feeling pretty good right now. We're gonna see if we can keep
Did you think home won?
Train rolling. I did. I personally did. But like I'm not gonna dwell on it. I can see how they scored it for Ketlin. I mean, she did bring the damage, and like that's just gonna happen. Like these bad decisions happen fairly frequently in the UFC. I was disappointed. I was bummed, and I definitely thought home won. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Some good performances. Chase Hooper, that was fun.
Chase Hooper, Gelton Almeida. Again,
golly,
0 strikes landed against him. Like
crazy, that guy. Moving up.
Yes, I am like incredibly looking forward to it. And like when he went in for the takedown and like Porter stuffed it at first, I was like, oh wow, he might actually be too heavy. And then he just lifts him up, drops him, fights over from there.
What happened to New Britain, Connecticut's own?
Yeah.
Tough spot for him.
Yeah, well, I bet on Almeida, so
right.
I mean, I'm excited to see where he goes. I mean, I said it was a sneaky little fun card. Few people hitting big. Actually, a lot to go through. I mean, well, not a lot, but we ended up with our typical 4. Devin's Bookie, the big hitter of the week. People have really come on to these same game or same fight parlays on DraftKings. He does. Now, this was like a mistake by DraftKings, and this kid like smashed the line. It was Holly Holm, most significant strikes in the fight, and over 1.5 rounds plus 1,300. And then he also hit over a half round at plus 950. And he went super heavy on this, turns 2,900 into $35,350.
Holy smokes!
Like, I gotta give these things a whirl. This next card, I'm going to try one of these same game parlays.
KS Dub?
No, they're not going to offer a same fight parlay. KS Dub.
Imagine.
Not. I mean, that would be fantastic. I would love if DraftKings even put it up. We're going to see if we get it. So shout out to Devin's Bookie for the big hit of the week. Some honorable mentions. Some crazy ones here. Incorruptible OG. Plus 83,370. He goes 11 for 11. Calls every single fight correctly on the card. We don't unit shame here. He turns 10 cents into $83. Pretty nice return on investment there. Guerrero MMA, 5-leg parlay, plus 3,217. Turns $50 into 1,658. And then last but not least, this one was crazy. I saw this one before the Chase Hooper fight, so I was kind of paying attention to it to see if it was going to happen. Clint McLean, diehard MMA pod. We've had him on there before. He does some crazy hits every once in a while. Chase Hooper by KO TKO, plus 1,100. Chase Hooper by KO TKO in round 3, plus 4,000.
Wow.
Hits both of those. And then he also parlays Sam Hughes in round 3 with Chase Hooper in round 3. That's plus 43,600. He turned $65 into $3,400. I mean,
wow. Was this
cleaned
the guy who
up.
was yelling on Twitter? I saw that guy on
He
your
gets
feed.
pretty hype. He gets pretty hype. But
Wow.
yeah, crazy calls there. And then the last one, it's not a bet, but it was definitely a big hit here. Ariel Helwani, ratioing and 10-7 DC live during the broadcast.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I mean, I love to see a successful ratio just as much as I love to see an unsuccessful one because it looks really bad. But
I mean, it's
yeah,
too easy with DC. You want to know the best part about this whole exchange?
yeah, I think I already know it.
Well, the thing is, I come to find out that there's like a failed ratio account. So some people were trying to get me on that. Didn't work. And all of a sudden, I see this tweet from DC about Eric Anders losing, right? And I was like, well, this ratio wins. And it was too easy. Now it lingers. And then finally, I mean, now I'm smoking him in the ratio department. I mean, again, this was like a softball down the middle. He texts me, what does this mean? And I'm like, hey, listen, you got to be under 40 to get this kind of joke. You got to be under 40. I'm sorry, I can't help you. He goes, come on, tell me something to say. Tell me something to reply. So I write back, eat this ratio, Helwani. He writes that, and then I hit him back with the you would eat it.
You ooped yourself on that one. I think that takes away from it a little bit.
No, I'm sorry.
That you set him up for it? I was
I
hoping
think that's
that he
actually
just
kind
said
of
that.
even more sinister. I set him up thinking he thought that I was helping him out. In the end, I set him up to dunk on him again.
Yeah. I mean, it was fantastic work. I mean, the double ratio.
Thank you.
I mean, the back.
And then you got these other dudes who try to ratio me. I mean, it's like...
See, I love a failed ratio where someone says ratio and then you go to it and it has no likes or one like. That's
Oh, yeah,
that's
I get
just
that all
as
the
good
time.
as seeing the successful ratio.
I've never been ratioed.
We'll see.
Yeah. No,
You better watch your back there.
No, everyone's gonna try.
And then last but not least, we have the
McGregor
draft
Rousey,
king.
that jabron. Yes.
Oh yeah, he
loves a good ratio.
That man will ratio anyone.
I know, but I mean, it's not. It's like child's play. I mean, you can't
I
even.
think he
compete.
ratioed like Biden one time or something.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it's like. Don't even.
And then I think we got a DraftKings shout out here. Oh,
Wow.
Back to the 8-bit.
Can I get on it? This is like one of the. That's amazing.
Eric Eastman. I'm
What?
going over his face. This man is a
first of all,
menace
I mean,
to
what-
society. It's Gaucho Loco again. He will not stop winning.
Again?
Again.
Wait,
dude.
did he change his picture?
He found me on Twitter one week when I didn't put up the
Oh, my
contest
God.
enough, and he was like, "I'm coming for the crown." So now I have a real picture of him, and he swept all 3 competitions again. That's the second time he's done that in the last month.
So what's he now? 3?
Yeah, he's won. He's gotten a shout out like 3 or 4 times. This guy is a minute.
I feel like we need like a leaderboard now.
Yeah, there is a leaderboard.
How many
He's-
wins?
He's
Like-
number 1 on it. Oh, yeah.
In terms of wins, like
cumulative points. That,
no, like
that I would have to
standings,
look
like
up.
how many times they've been the big
Yeah.
hitter, that type of thing. You know.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Of course, Mike Ryan of the Levitard Show fame gets a nod, right? He's won a couple times.
Shout out Mike Ryan of
Yes.
the Levitard Show.
All right, wow, Gaucho, the man. Now he's
mean,
got his son up there.
Guacamole, as Killer Shaw would say.
Guacamole. Yes, I didn't get that joke. If I'm being honest,
I didn't either until he explained it.
you check out the awards.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to
Great stuff from
you got to
Big Shot.
mention.
yeah.
What was it about? The better
Yeah. The better award. I can't even remember.
and who won?
I can't even
I
remember.
can't even remember. All right.
I don't think anybody won that one. Wasn't it like he put like question mark and then GC to
Oh, that's
tag it in
right.
later.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
he was supposed to come up with one.
Yeah.
That's kind of lazy on Killer Shaw's
I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree. By the way, what happened to you, New York Rick? Why are you not on the shot anymore?
That was GC's
Oh, okay.
talking.
No,
Jesus,
it's like
relax.
I thought maybe you left or something.
See, that doesn't even make sense. I'm on the mic.
I don't know. I mean,
this bit is.
I have
I'm
real
ratioing this
separation
bit, so
anxiety.
Rick's getting tired of all the Helwani bits here.
Sorry.
So lame.
Could we? Okay, I got a bit for you.
Okay,
I saw a lot of talk. I mean, it did well. I saw a lot of talk. Oh, Jake Paul has to fight Anderson. This is the fight. You know what? I disagree. Why does this have to be the fight?
let's get world-renowned Love Island cast member.
Yeah, that's right.
Tommy Fury.
No, here's the thing. I'm down if it's the fight, but why does it have to be the fight? Why is it? Why is this 47-year-old against the 24-year-old?
I'll come with you on that. I'll come with you on that. But is there any doubt that people would rather see that fight? Last time we talked about this, you said no. People would not rather see that fight. They would rather see Tommy Fury. I mean, come on.
So randomly, when I was back in Atlanta, I was introduced to like these 2 or 3 girls, and they asked me what I did, and somehow fighting came up, and they were like, "Oh man, the only fighter I know is Tommy Fury."
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jake Paul.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh yeah, you might fight Jake Paul." They were like, "Oh, I would love that. I would love to see that," and I just started cracking up.
There you go.
Yeah, there's another pro boxer from Love Island. What was his name? He was on The Challenge. That's the only reason I know this. And again, I mean, to my point, don't even know what his name is.
Okay,
more fights than Tommy Fury. Nobody who watches Love Island is buying the pay-per-view based on that.
Let me just be very clear before anyone minces my words. If Anderson fights Jake, I'm obviously all in. This is like our wheelhouse. It would be crazy. I called Anderson Silva the comeback fighter of the year last year. Like, his story's been amazing. That being said, he was fighting on some bizarre stream in Dubai. I mean, like, to suggest that he is a bigger name right now worldwide in mainstream than the guy on the Fight Island show that was, that is Tyson Fury's half brother, feels like a bit of a stretch.
Who sells more pay-per-views?
Who sells more pay-per-views?
Debate wasn't.
I actually don't know. I really don't know.
My answer wasn't he's more known by people who watch Netflix or whatever channel that's on than Anderson Silva. I will grant you that.
Do you think both fights happen, let's say, August 13th, right? That's the date.
Yeah.
In Houston. Let's just pick a random city on Showtime, let's say. And by the way, not really talked about thing is the fact that Jake Paul is a free agent right now, TV-wise.
Yeah.
He had a 2-fight deal with Showtime. I mean, that doesn't really affect the viewer at home, but I'm kind of interested to see where that story goes. Anyway, let's say it's Showtime, pay-per-view, Anderson versus Jake in some, random U.S. city, or Jake versus Tommy in some random U.S. city. You think
which
that
sells more pay-per-views? Anderson Silva, not even a question.
By a wide margin?
Huge margin.
Huge margin?
Tommy Fury brings nothing to this fight.
Okay.
Zero. Nothing.
Anderson versus Jake in some random American town, or Jake versus Tommy in the UK?
Okay, well, now we're talking. Are we talking like gate now? Like if you're doing,
what does better
the
business?
Package,
what does better business?
Yeah, that could potentially bridge the gap, especially because now you can sell more pay-per-views in the UK too, right? Like you can move the if they do like the BT box office, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a different equation. I would argue Anderson probably does still more because the fans that are fight fans in the UK know Anderson Silva as well. I'm not convinced that Tommy would sell much more than Anderson in the UK, but in the US it wouldn't even be close. Anderson would crush him under the weight of his pay-per-views.
What do you think, GC?
I think whoever Jake Paul fights, I'm going to watch it regardless. Opponent doesn't really matter.
Well said.
Our buddy Jedi Goodman, who's also a challenge fan, Idris Virgo was the guy I was referring to. Have you ever heard of this man?
No.
He's like a 12-0 boxer who was on Love Island. He's not doing anything.
Tommy Fury is more than Idris.
That's my point, though, right? Like, it's all the other things. It's being Tyson Fury's brother.
Yes.
It's Jake Paul mentioning his name.
Right.
Nobody who watches Love Island is buying a pay-per-view.
Did you watch the Anderson fight?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
What about it? What do you mean?
I mean, like, what do you like? Do you really think, based on the place that he's at in his career, the way he sells fights, his personality, that could? I just think there'll be more heat. There's no heat right now between Jake and Anderson. Again,
there's no heat between Jake and Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is not bringing heat.
By the way, I'd rather see the Anderson fight because like it's more of an emotional. But the idea that it has to be Anderson because it's such a new
I'm not in on that. I don't think that is. But what I'm telling you, it may very well be likely that his next fight is Tommy Fury. It will do fine. Jake Paul's next fight is Tommy Fury. It will do fine. I'm sure the tea leaves are pointing in that direction. My point is, Tommy Fury is not bringing anything to that equation. Just not. Like
which win does he get more credit for? Beating the 47-year-old former MMA great or beating
Anderson, for sure.
because you know it's the first thing someone's going to say if he beats him.
I think that's all they're going to say.
Well, they'll find a
Fight someone your own age.
If somebody is inclined to not give Jake Paul credit for his fights, they will always find a reason.
I agree with that.
There will always be a reason. Anderson too old. Tommy Fury not a great boxer. There's always going to be a reason. That is an irrelevant conversation. Of course, if he fights Conor, the guy hasn't won a fight in X number of years. There will always be a reason. What I'm telling you is that Anderson Silva has more fight cachet, and nobody who watches Love Island is buying a pay-per-view. And I'm very, very confident in saying that. There are no Love Island fans who are buying pay-per-views. Otherwise, Idris Virgo would be the number one pay-per-view draw right now.
No, because Idris Virgo is nowhere near as big as
that's my point.
Tommy Fury.
That's a good point.
It's all based on the Love Island. There is no cachet. There is no pull from Love Island. It's because he's Tommy Fury's brother. It's because he's Tyson Fury's brother. It's because Jake Paul's mentioned his name.
Right.
There's a little bit of heat there.
I'm agreeing with you.
But there's heat there. There's at least some
Is there?
heat.
Yeah, like there's more than this Idris Virgo guy. There's way more than
this
this
dude.
Idris
I've never even heard of this guy.
Again, you guys are not understanding
but listen,
the argument.
if they did the fight in the UK, heat-wise, promotion-wise, you got John Fury now involved.
Do they even care about Tommy that much? Like, how much do they really get involved?
Yo,
in
he was sitting at the press conference. What are you talking about? You remember that whole thing? He's talking about his girlfriend.
That was the debacle of a press conference.
It was a
Let's
debacle.
just say I get the sense that Tommy's not the most loved child in that.
Nah,
But then
that's
Jake
not fair.
could go over there and be face to face with John too. Which
Yes.
would be great theater.
It would be. It would be incredible.
You're making the point that there's an interesting element to Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul, not the argument. Has nothing to do with Love Island.
What are we
Zero.
arguing about right now? What the bigger gate is? Who does more pay-per-views?
What is the argument?
I've stated it very plainly. You guys are all on this train that like Tommy Fury has this like mainstream appeal from Love Island.
The package.
He's got nothing. There is nothing there.
No, actually, I feel like the Love Island part is number 3 or 4 on the list.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
Well, now that's
Tyson,
I can start to agree
John.
Yeah.
You
You're crazy if you think Love Island is the number one thing here for the draw.
It's zero.
Of the fight.
It's nothing.
Did you see his performance in his last fight? He smoked the guy. He's a fantastic.
Wait,
fighter.
what?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, Jesus, the levels of delusion.
Anderson. Let's just get the opponent so I can get excited for it.
Well, that's the thing. You know what's the crazy thing about it? The crazy thing is there's no clear-cut guy. It's like we're all trying to convince
so you're talking
ourselves.
about all this heat with Tommy Fury. It's like, what heat?
No.
This is all carried by Jake Paul.
Listen,
all of it.
If I were in charge of his career, I would keep the MMA thing going. And it's unfortunate that there's no clear-cut MMA guy. Other than Anderson, who's 47, there's not a single other person out there.
Another thing, I think you... Go ahead, GC.
I just feel like the pre-fight things with Tommy would be way more interesting, but the fight itself with Anderson would be more interesting.
I think you guys
I think that's a fair point. Can't really do a face-to-face with Anderson.
Why not?
I just feel like Anderson's not going to
He won't engage. He won't engage. He'll say he'll want to fight his clone instead and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. Make the money. Jake Paul will carry it, as he always has.
Right.
Jake Paul will carry it, as he always has. This has nothing to do... The opponent's almost irrelevant, being completely honest. Like, how much heat was there with Tyron Woodley the second time?
There was a lot. Well, that was,
Oh, stop.
No. The first time there was a ton of heat. Come on,
the
don't
first
do
time was
revisionist
good.
history.
The second...
No, but the second time was...
revise history. I literally said the second time.
You said second at the end. Second time, though, was a wash. Like, that wasn't the plan. No one wanted to see that rematch.
Agreed.
So, I mean, I almost
And Jake Paul still carried it. Jake Paul will carry it against anybody. Anderson Silva is a more credible fighter than Tommy Fury, worldwide audience. It just is a fact.
Well, now I feel like we're changing the goalposts. Of course he's a more credible fighter. I'm just trying to find the fight that makes the most sense.
But you also, I think you have, and you've put this forward before, like, you think that, like, Tommy Fury is going to end the conversation about, like, he hasn't fought a real boxer. It will not. It will 0% end.
It's a nice little...
It's not. It's not. He will be first of all, I don't think he's very good right now. Wait until Jake Paul beats him. The conversation about how good a boxer he is, they're going to call him the worst boxer of all time. There will be no credit given to Jake Paul if he beats Tommy Fury. There will be no credit given to Jake Paul if he beats Anderson Silva. There'll be no credit given to Jake Paul if he beats Mayweather. Logan Paul had a competitive fight with Mayweather, and it's like, it was rigged, this and that. They will not get credit, period. That will never happen.
I just wish someone would have emerged. Even someone in Bellator, you know?
Well, I'll say this. The one who's made the best case for it, the one who's talking the loudest and making the most noise, Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. I like what he's trying to do here. I like him talking about it. He doesn't...
I haven't even seen anything.
He continues to just kind of talk about them.
Wait, Anthony Taylor has turned on Jake?
He wants to fight.
What?
Yeah.
Where have I been?
But again, he doesn't have enough name. Like he's not gonna.
Wait, they're not buds anymore? I thought the whole thing was he was his training partner.
Unless I've
Anyway, that's not
misremembered
gonna
this.
happen. That is
Yeah,
not,
of course
there's
not.
no way
Of
that's
course
going to
not.
happen.
Nobody's. Yeah, I mean, is
Chris
Bill
Avila?
Dennis gonna come back all of a sudden?
No, I mean, we haven't heard from him.
I mean,
since,
that's where
January.
Jake might get credit. That one fight, if he beats Dylan Dennis, just because people
Come on.
The
want
GOAT?
to see
Then he'll
that
be
happen.
The GOAT.
God, honestly, I mean, I don't know why you just brought him up, but I mean, talk about fumbling it. There's literally no one. Like he could emerge right now if he was active.
If he just came and made some noise, you're right.
MVP would be fun. Bellator guy.
Yeah.
Wait,
that would
what?
be random
Yeah.
as hell.
No, MVP has kind of hinted at it in the past, but he's not making any noise for it.
What?
He's not banging the drum. Don't you think MVP versus Jake would be an interesting boxing match?
I would be more excited for Silva or Tommy, though.
Sort of the same age. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out something.
These are very. I mean,
There's
I
nothing.
feel like he probably has something figured out. We're
There's
less than 3 months away.
there's nothing there. Jake Paul's going to carry it. It's irrelevant at this point who he's going to fight. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
Let me ask you guys, what are you more interested in? Holly Holm resuming her MMA career or trying to get the Katie Taylor fight?
For sure, Katie Taylor.
Yes. Katie Taylor.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
Yeah, because where does Holly go from here? Like you mentioned it earlier,
Yeah.
she's turning 41 soon. She's now fights removed from fighting for a title again.
Yeah, I mean, just what does Holly Holm have left to accomplish in MMA at this point? Is there anything that we care about?
No.
Like she's done everything. There's nothing left.
Katie Taylor is staring at 2 upcoming fights, a rematch against Amanda Serrano and then a potential Holly Holm fight. Like that is gigantic stuff.
Yeah.
It's way
Big
more
paydays,
interesting.
too.
Man, imagine back in Ireland. That would be incredible. I'd love to see that. I don't know if it's going to happen. She has 1 fight left. I mean, again, I don't know how she gets to a title shot. Is the UFC going to re-sign her? She costs a lot of money. Can I just say, speaking of 135, Rick, you would know because you follow this stuff very, very closely. I mean, that feels, at least to me, like the most definitive answer from Valentina about 135, right?
100%. Yeah.
Like in the past, she's always kind of been like, yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Like she was like, oh yeah, I'm going to win this one, and then we're going up.
Yeah. No, that is by far the most definitive she's been. She's always, as to your point, she's always been wishy-washy about it. It's always been, maybe down the line I'll get that one, again. You asked her point blank, is it next? And she said very, very, very possibly. So yeah.
Love the idea of that. Sitting on a Shevchenko bantamweight champion by the end of the year, plus 800.
Oh my God. Are you really? Where are we at with those?
I was sitting back here hyped up.
We're approaching the halfway point. By the way, Frank, when Valentina says that, we could get the breaking. I mean, it was pretty big.
I think
It's a little late. Like 2 hours later.
I think I'm currently cashing 0 of them.
Why? You have Kai Kara France.
Yeah, that's what I'm
currently.
saying.
Currently, it's currently, but like I feel like you're trending in the right direction for a
Kai's
few.
got a chance. Joanna has a chance. I have Jiri at like plus 200.
If Kai wins interim, does that count?
No.
It doesn't.
Serious?
He has to be
I
undisputed.
wonder if it'd be a push.
Huh.
Like if he had an interim belt.
Wait, is that legit?
Yeah, I don't think it would count.
Wow.
Being interim.
That sucks. Because he might be a champion.
Are there any that you're completely out of the game for? Like that this guy is nowhere near the title?
I would have to go back and look. I don't think.
Well, I feel like we can have a mid-season report here. We're approaching the mid-season mark.
Yeah, here. Let me. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, while he does that, let me just say that
Yeah,
I'm not that interested in Valentina versus 135ers anymore.
Oh, I would love. to
Wait,
try and see her
35ers or
double
25ers?
35ers.
Oh,
What?
wow! I
What
would
are you
love to
talking-
see that.
I don't think that's the right weight class for her. I'm not interested in it.
Shevchenko and Nunez 3. You wouldn't want
Look,
to see.
I'll watch
Yeah.
it. That's fine. But the only reason that we're even talking about it is because of the lack of competition at 125. It's not because Valentina is somebody we've been dying to see go back up again. I don't
Shevchenko
care.
Nunez, everyone wants to see
fine.
that fight.
Really?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for like 2 years.
Yeah, but again, it's only because of the lack of competition at 125. It's not because we're dying to see Valentina go up. I don't need to see her at 35 again. Now, if
Shevchenko
you're giving
Pena
me that
too?
option, if you're giving me that option versus somebody at 125 who she's going to smoke again, like, yeah, I mean, I'll go with you on it, but I'm not compelled by that. I'm really not. I don't think she's a 135er. I think she's in the weight class she belongs in. I don't think she'd be that tough a
She
fight.
beat Pena rather convincingly. She could get that second title.
Yeah, I mean it's different. It's different going up to 35.
I want to see it. I selfishly want to.
I'm okay with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like like I wouldn't watch it. I am. Of course, I'll watch it, and it's fine. But again, it's only coming from a.
So you'd rather see her versus another
being nothing,
faceless flyweight. I mean, in fairness, flyweight is slowly but surely getting a little more interesting. Let's see what Misha does. All right, Manon Fiorot. All right, Alexa Grasso. All right, but I mean, her just.
Yeah, let me be clear. I am not saying I would rather see a 125er who doesn't belong in there with her as opposed to the Nunes fight. But what I'm saying is I'm not interested in Valentina at 135. So after the Nunes fight or after the Pena fight, then what? Like I'm not interested in her being the 35-pound champion because I don't think that's her weight class.
You'd rather see...
You're talking about one fight, but then what are the consequences of that? I would rather see her just keep at 25.
What about her?
But what about the rest of the division?
Yeah, but honestly, in this case with flyweight, maybe her going up allows that division to evolve, populate. You'd rather see Shevchenko Chukagian too?
I just literally told you that I would not rather see it. I literally just told you this.
Shevchenko.
The words came out of my mouth.
Shevchenko 3.
This is of all the crazy takes, this is up there.
I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick.
He said earlier how much he hates
I'm so sick of this is the worst take when you disagree with something I say. It's so lazy.
Wait, to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
So lazy. This is the worst take. This is the worst take since this. And then these like little bottom feeder internet regurgitators just like latch onto it and say the same thing. It's so lazy.
Fork and knife hot
it's
dog
so it lacks such critical thinking. It's so boring. It's so boring.
All right, I got the midway season report.
Did you have a hot dog last week at Costco?
Costco, yes, you did.
No. See, now you're using info that I dropped in the chat. No.
The question was Costco.
No, it was a Nathan's hot dog. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I told you in the chat that I went to Costco
Yes.
and had a hot dog, but it was with my daughter, and it was definitely not eaten with a fork.
But he was sitting there nervous as hell last.
But once the story started with like I saw New York Rick eating a hot dog, I was like, wait a minute, where is this going? And then no, they had the facts all wrong, and they just completely fabricated that story. Weird, just a weird
facts all wrong. I think it was just completely made up.
Yeah, just completely made up. Sorry, GC.
All right, go ahead. Season report. We got Jiri plus 275, so that's alive. Kai Kara France plus 1600 alive. Islam plus 240 alive.
Wow. Yeah.
Hamza welterweight. I don't know if he's going to get the shot before year's end.
I mean, he gets one more.
Valentina plus 800 bantamweight. Joanna plus 3500 strawweight. Marina Rodriguez plus 700 strawweight. That
might be the one. Yeah, but you hedged that one. No, I mean, that might be the one that has no chance.
No, you want to know no chance? I did take Ciro Gane and John Jones. Some sprinkles on heavyweight there.
Rob, you know what?
I'm not ready to rule that one out either.
These are all at big odds, though. So if I can just get like 2 or 3 of these, we're going to be looking pretty.
Rodriguez, like if they're in need of a fight, somebody falls off, like she's game. Like I could see a scenario where she slides into a fight just because she's always ready. And
the problem is if Rose would have won, she would have had it. Now that Rose lost, Joanna's in the mix, Zhang is in the mix.
For sure.
There's so many other people in the mix.
But let's say they book the strawweight title fight, somebody falls off last minute. First name on that list, Marina Rodriguez. First name to call to like fill in.
Right.
Joanna wins next month. I think it's going to be Marina or Joanna next, and we might get a shot before the year's over.
Yeah, I don't hate it. She is really game, and that's what.
If Joanna wins next month, I think it's going to be Joanna Carla,
for sure.
Which is better. That's better.
Yeah.
That's way better.
It's way better
on Joanna at plus 3500. Islam, hoping that gets booked.
I mean, you're probably gonna get that by the end of the year for sure.
Plus 240, I would love that.
The only curveball is
bet
if they make him fight Beneil, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They threw that out there, and now they took it back.
Hopefully, we can cash 1 or 2 of these.
I feel like you're in a good spot for like at least 3 or 4 right now. Like really good spot.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope.
Look at you.
I mean, it's just better business. Why would they make him fight Beneil? That never made sense. They
didn't like the whole,
It just didn't make sense. It's bad
business.
I
know. I'm fine with
punishment, like we're going to do a fight that we don't really want to do. Come on.
I will say, though, Charles should fight in Brazil. If they really are going to Brazil in December, he should fight in Brazil.
Agree with that.
And Khabib, to his credit, said, we'll go to Brazil, no problem.
They just want the shot.
Of course. I'm just saying, like, but it means you have to wait a little longer, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he cares.
That fight would be massive.
True or false?
Brazil.
Oh, in Brazil, it'd be tremendous. And by the way, Khabib is doing a great job of promoting it too.
Yes.
By all the stuff that he's talking.
He's
Khabib-
promoting tough. He's promoting
That's
Charles
right.
versus Islam in Brazil. I
Promoting
mean,
the
he's the
MMA
number
hour.
one promoter in the UFC.
I know
right
he's
now.
watching our show. He's taking all our stories.
I don't know about that one.
Why? Why? He responded to a thing on the show.
Yeah.
You're going to try to take credit for him looking at the.
I mean, it was the social media.
I mean, that's.
It was
that's-
our great graphic by
the
Jose
way,
Youngs.
That's the bit.
Call it what it
The
is.
bit is me completely ignoring the obvious and saying that
No, I
he's
know.
watching the show.
I didn't get that one at first.
I would say that he, he's a great promoter of events, but never seen him.
Never met him.
Never met him. True or false? Glover Teixeira, does he fight in 2023?
I'll let GC go on that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a little... I didn't know where you were going with that one.
Well, because he
I
said
don't know,
to
I guess.
Guilherme, I read the thing. I saw the whole
Right,
thing.
yeah.
He said, dream is this, that, New
When's
York.
this? One more?
Yeah.
Close it out?
And now he's like, yeah, you guys asked me early. Now I feel great.
I'm going to say true. I'm going to say he fights in 2023.
I think so too.
He's the man, by the way. The wine response was 10 out of 10.
The Hennessy. No, but if he wins on June 11th and then he wins again, let's say he gets the New York thing, which I don't know if they put him in New York, but yeah. He deserves it.
I mean,
Why the
you
hell-
just do him in December in Brazil if that's
Yeah,
Out of
like
field.
if they're doing
Charles,
Brazil,
I
you,
mean,
Oof. Yeah. But
you
come
would
on.
have to take that over New York, right?
I mean, his whole life is here now.
yeah, that's true.
He's never fought in New York
Northeast
before.
guy,
He's had a
yeah.
chance to fight in
And it
Brazil.
seemed very. I think what he was telling Guilherme and what he said to you again, that's a fairy tale, right?
yeah.
If that happens, it'd be
Yeah.
hard for him to go, man, do I really want to do this, go into camp again, do this thing? Like, I could leave on a storybook right now. I just don't think he's ready to say that definitively. But if it happens, yeah, I could see it. I'll say, yeah, but here's the thing. I have Yuri winning that
I
fight.
know,
so
that's
it'd be,
the problem.
Yeah, me
it
too.
throws a whole
Can I
wrench
say
into
what
it.
I think happens?
Yeah.
I think that if he beats Yuri and then he goes to end of the year and wins that, he's not walking away. He fought way too hard, way too long to get to this point. You ain't leaving. You could say it's not about the money all you want. You're just not going to walk away. I have a hard time believing it. That being said, I could see a scenario. Let's say Yuri unfortunately knocks him out or something where he says, all right, I'm good. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Again, like the Holly Holm thing. What's left? Like, Glover has
Or
done
maybe
it
he
all.
asks for a retirement fight in New York.
Yeah.
And he says the next one.
I could see
Basically, if he loses the belt on June 11th, I could see him not fighting past 23. If he wins on June 11th and remains
20
champ,
that. Just for clarity, you're saying 2023, obviously.
yeah, like he fights, past 2022 into 2023.
Yeah.
If he wins and keeps it, I don't see him walking away as champion.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It also obviously depends how it goes, right? It's a close fight. All of a sudden, they just do a rematch on it. There's all kinds of scenarios where this plays out and everything gets affected. I think rightfully, I think we're putting a clock on it because we know how long he's been fighting and because of his age. But he doesn't have a clock on it. He's just going to figure this out as it goes, and I think he has the right to do that.
Or instead of New York, retirement fight where he lives right now, Connecticut. They do it at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. That's where they close it out.
Fight night, Hartford.
Well, they can go to the
XL
Mohegan
Center.
Sun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mohegan.
They don't go to Mohegan. They go to the other one. What's the other? Foxwoods.
Foxwoods,
They've been to
yeah.
Foxwoods. I've been there once. It was not bad.
Yeah.
The wonder of it all.
Wow, look at
You know that commercial?
Little jingle.
Take a chance, make it happen. Pop a cork, finger snapping. You know that?
Oh, you really know it.
Yeah.
They do have a
Have it
ball.
all.
Yes, it's always
Let's
on
do
like
it.
Knicks games and stuff.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, let's.
Have you ever been?
Yes, I went to the great card there. The Jacare one. Overeem fought on it. Travis
Oh,
Brown.
wow. They did a card with those guys at Foxwoods?
Yo,
Wow.
you forgetting? Not only did they do a card at Foxwoods, Bellator did a card at Mohegan same night.
Wow. Big
Connecticut
night
was like-
That was for
on
real?
fire.
Yes.
I'm
Connecticut was on
completely
fire.
blocking this out of my head. That is crazy to me.
It was the same night.
They did a Mohegan versus Foxwoods.
Head
so
to head.
So UFC loaded it up because of that, right?
On a
they're-
Friday to boot. It was something where I think that, yeah, here it is, right here. It was something where I think Bellator had something big, some sort of like return, debut.
Yeah. And UFC was like, nah.
Yeah, UFC Fight Night 50 on September 5th, same day as nearby Bellator 123.
On
A
the
head-to-head interstate battle.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Yo, they did load it up. Listen to this fight night main card. Musasi against Jacare,
Yeah.
Rothwell Overeem, Mitrione, Derek Lewis, Joe Lozon, Michael Chiesa. That was the main card.
Oh, man.
Moraga was on the undercard. Ally Aquinta on the undercard. Your boy Chris Camozzi on the undercard.
Okay. All right.
By the way, what about Matt Mitrione knocking out Derek Lewis that night in 41 seconds?
Yeah.
How about that?
Say no more. UFC was like, nah, we're not losing the casino wars here.
Now, I will admit, I forget who fought on the Bellator one. I think Michael Chandler might have fought on the Bellator.
Yeah, let's find out. GC.
What do you got?
He had it.
Bellator 123.
I can't do the numbers for Bellator.
Yeah, I found it. What? You're not.
No, I don't
as
do
quick on the draw.
No, I don't do it.
All right, here we go. Patricio Pitbull and Daniel Strauss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good fight.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the full card. MMA fighting not loading.
All right, here we go.
Great website though.
King Mo against Dustin Jacoby, Tamdan McCrory against Brendan Ward, Bobby Lashley against Josh Burns, Czech Congo against LeVar Big Johnson.
Okay, so they were trying to load it up too.
Yeah.
Enough. Fair play to him. Yeah, that's interesting.
It was Pat Kern against Patricio Pitbull. That's right. It aired live on Spike TV on a Friday.
Oh, Dustin Jacoby.
The event marked the first time Bellator and their rival UFC have had live shows go against each other. Additionally, both were held in the same state in venues located within miles of each other.
I can't believe
You don't remember this?
Memory of this.
2014.
Blocked this out. Have they ever gone head to head since?
Yeah, of course. You mean in the same state?
No, like same night.
UFC and Bellator? Where the hell have you been?
Am I? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are you talking
They go
about?
Saturdays all the time now. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the same state is a good question.
But and correct me if I'm wrong here. Isn't it usually staggered though? It'll usually be like a Bellator is on like after UFC. Or like, it's not usually like head to head.
Well, in the ESPN era, Bellator often will have 10 p.m. main cards for their shows, and UFC is like on a fight night. They'll never go up against the pay-per-view, but UFC will have like a 7 p.m. one, so it usually ends. Like
this is like as head to head as it gets.
Yeah.
Though.
It was nuts. It was nuts.
Steve Garcia on that Bellator card. He's going to be on UFC 275.
Wow.
I didn't even know Connecticut was a state in 2014.
Wow.
Jesus. Shots fired.
Uncasville, Connecticut. And the other one was, what was it? It was called...
Uncasville.
yeah.
I'll be there soon.
Massantucket. Massantucket is where Foxwoods is.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Speaking of cards, UFC 277 officially announced Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes is official. As we already told you, that's the main event. The co-main is Brandon Moreno versus Kai France interim flyweight title fight. Derek Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich. Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith. And I do want to send my condolences to Anthony, who lost his mother recently. Not a bad main card for July 30th. 2 pay-per-views in 1 month is tough, I think. If you're
That's a great card.
Yeah, it's great, but
Magomed Anthony Smith opening the main card too. I'm pretty excited for that one.
Oh, the 5-pack is tremendous. Rockhold Costa, I hope happens. Jeez,
Oh man,
the heat between them is tremendous. I love
Costa giving you some love on Twitter.
Helwani. What a character. But no, Rockhold said like you better show up, BITCH or something. Here's the thing though, $75. It's $75 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Within the span of 4 weeks, 28 days.
Yeah, $150.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
The second one always suffers. And then if they do Diaz Khamzat on August 20th or something like that, it's going to suffer.
Well, that's the thing. Do you skip another one down the line and just get that one in July?
Skip the sandwich.
Get the 2 in July. You know?
Well, the next one will be August 20th, and that one is
okay.
TBD.
But maybe you skip September. Maybe you skip. You know what I mean? Like you know. That one's pretty good. I think that one...
Really annoying how I said the UFC wanted Usman Edwards on that, and everyone ran with saying, I reported it, running to this guy, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
City.
I mean, like, get out of here with this. It's crazy, these people. Same night as SummerSlam as well, July 30th. I don't know if that is going to factor into things. Different audiences, right?
They don't. They seem to be going head to head more and more, right?
Yes.
They don't,
Money in the Bank same night as 276.
Is that affecting any? I don't really know.
Same night, same city. It's going to be like shades of Bellator UFC 2014. I will be at Money in the Bank in the same city and not at the UFC event. How about that?
You're not going to get to watch 276?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Are you allowed? I don't think you're allowed.
I have to go in under a disguise.
Different name.
Yeah, what's
whatever
the fake name
Paulo Costa said? Helwani. You can go in.
Yeah. Am I going to watch 276? You said no, because the thing is, the lifting is very light for the WWE event. I could watch it, and by the time
Yeah.
it will end at 10:30.
Okay, yeah.
There's still going to be 2.5 hours.
276 card is.
Yeah, it's nice. But I will be there at Allegiant
Good.
and not at the UFC event. How weird is that?
Yeah.
Weird times. So 277 officially announced. And one last thing I wanted to bring up before we go to the social media expert. How do we feel about the whole Michel Pereira, Masvidal? I mean, like,
Yeah, it feels like a not. Look, it's good internet drama. I think Michel is getting what he wanted out of that, right? Like,
Mhm.
he wanted Masvidal's attention. He got Masvidal's attention. He left some details out of the story of.
did
the
it
retelling.
backfire though?
No, because I think ultimately, like, if my wife or my significant other sent that message, like, I'd be like, I don't care. Like,
What was the message again? Like, good luck or
We
something?
have the receipt
Let's
right
go.
here.
Oh, we have it.
Kill
Thank you. Let's
Kill
go to
it.
the,
You got this.
what do
That's
we got?
he
What do we got?
says.
Let's go to the screen here.
no, I don't think it backfired. Is my answer.
Yeah, we got the picture right here if we can go to it. Masvidal coming in, chirping him.
Okay, so what is she? Okay, I can't read that. What did she
All right,
say?
so she says, kill it. You got this. Responding to one of his stories. He sends back the prayer emoji.
Now, important to note, at the press conference, Pereira just said, yo, he
The
slid
emoji.
in the DMs and said
Yeah.
he didn't mention the first message, right?
He did not mention the first message. She also had mentioned him.
Yes, I saw that.
in
Thank you for bringing
his
that up.
story
Please, can you just
previously.
go back to that real quick? You know, I'm happy you mentioned that. There's a one, it expires after 24
Yeah.
hours, right? But you can see it right there, the receipt. When is that? Like
July
a year
11th,
ago?
2020. And then she responds to one of his stories on March 17th, 2021. And then he hits her with the prayer emoji.
Now she comes back. Okay, well, he wrote, how crazy a world and how far has society fallen that this idiot, Michel Pereira, who beat our H-Dow, I mean, we're not taking sides here, but, you know, it's just, would use his wife to hopefully one day get a paycheck and create a fake narrative to try and get a fight with me when clearly he sees she slid in my DM. Wishing you guys the best. Marriage counselor, hashtag. Now, what's interesting about this is, how did Pereira know that he wrote that even? Like, did she write to him and then all of a sudden he writes back the prayer emoji and then she's like, could you believe this? Jorge Masvidal wrote me back. And
All right, let's not. Hey, we're speculating here in a way that
I mean,
needs to be done. Let me shut that down for a second.
what? This is, he brought it out.
Yes, but it's possible that, like, she was just like, oh, Jorge Masvidal responded to me. Like, it
And he
doesn't
took
have to
offense.
be.
Or he took her phone and started going through it.
Or he took her. There's a lot of
There's a lot
there's a
here.
lot of
There's a
different
lot.
things.
I'm sorry, but
Those
there's
were
a
the
lot.
most benign messages of all
She
time.
came back with a pretty serious message just over a prayer emoji sent.
A real statement.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I need to step in here for
Wait, MMA Fighting posted it. I mean, I'm seeing this all through
no,
your
but
feed.
Connor just said she came back with a very serious statement for just an emoji. That's not what the statement is in reaction to. The statement is in reaction to all the people online who are talking. First of all, the term slide into DMs is being used very, like, liberally right now.
Sure.
She didn't he didn't slide into her DMs. She didn't slide into his DMs with the implications that people are talking about. These were very benign messages.
Do we happen to have her statement just for the record? I feel like it's only fair.
I can read it. I can't put it up on the screen, unfortunately.
Okay, go ahead. I want to have this whole story.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have had this one right. Society is always looking for excitement, and unfortunately, drama sells, twisting the narrative to create a story that is false. I have never and would never do anything to disrespect my marriage or my husband. This account, as you can see, is a business account, and way more than one person has access to it. This is not even the way I would speak. Not to mention, it is from years ago and before I even knew Michel. Michel and I would appreciate respect as we are starting a family together. There's lots of hatred in this world, and we do not need to add to it. Peace and love to all of you.
Great shout out to Ringo Starr.
Yeah, the fact that it was before she even met Michel makes it.
Oh, really? That's
I mean,
a very interesting. I mean,
that makes it moot point. Like you can
nothing is happening here.
Okay, but
and her response is
Almost
to
there.
the response.
okay, but can I just say the part that I feel like none of us are talking about? He brought it up. He brought it up as a reason to pick a fight with the guy.
Okay, but look, we're
It'd be
talking
one thing
about it
if
now.
Masvidal brought it up, or if she brought it up. He's the one that brought it up.
We're talking about it now. The internet is talking about it. As I said at the very top, he got his wish. He got what he wanted. He wanted Masvidal's attention.
But was it
Got
worth
Masvidal's
it?
attention.
Was it
Yeah,
worth it?
Nothing is going to happen.
You kind of. I mean,
There is no world where those are inappropriate messages sent back and forth. It was
I
literally
don't
the
think
most-
so.
So my point is, like, there's no negative fallout. The only fallout is Masvidal now has he has Masvidal's attention. People are talking about it. People are like, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. He did what he needed to do.
You want to see that fight?
It made it. I'm not mad at it. Well, okay, so
I'd watch
Masvidal
it.
fights who?
I still maintain it should be Masvidal Connor.
I like it.
That would also be
I ain't mad about Michelle.
I mean, it's a big jump.
Shevchenko, Chukagian 2, or Michel Masvidal.
By the way, this from Casey, our good friend Casey Leiden, 1-0 as an amateur
Yes,
fighter.
1-0, soon to be 2.
Eric Jackman is crazy today. Val shouldn't fight at 135 for the belt is up there with the Ronda take.
Wow.
Again, everybody just these nonsense. Like, I don't. Man, I'm tempted to go into this Ronda.
Good.
I don't really want to.
Come on, it's been years of abuse.
I'm tempted.
Go ahead.
Tempted to mount.
Just
the
do
defense, but I don't want to open that can of worms. Okay.
Oh,
What I'll say about that. Again, I'm no problem to answer Casey directly. I have no problem with Val going up and fighting for the belt. Fine. Great. Like, that's a fine fight. But I don't think Valentina is a 135er. I don't think that helps the 135-pound division any. And she's doing fine at 125 to keep that division going. Like, this is not one of those scenarios. Like, I'll give you an example. Alex Volkanovski is eventually going to leave 145. That's a given. He will eventually leave 145. If he moves up and gives a competitive effort and wants to fight at 155, I'm into it. The other part of the equation is Valentina fought at 135. This is not some new scenario. She fought Amanda Nunes at 135 twice and lost.
yeah, but she's champion at 25, going up, trying to get a second title.
It's all theatrics. It's fine. It's one fight. I'm fine with it. It's not. It doesn't help the division. And your point about it could help 125 to just have her out of there and get some contenders. I'll grant you that one. I'll take that. But does she stay at 135 even? That's the question. Does that last long enough?
Right. She said that's too far down the line. All right, fair enough.
So that's the point. Like,
I don't want you to feel attacked here.
It's a yeah.
I think
you've definitely fostered an environment where I'm.
That is so not true. I would never do that. I mean, come on, the Ronda one. This is not up there with the Ronda one.
Oh God, I really want to go in. Okay, I'm not gonna.
I don't even know what you could possibly say.
I'm just saying what I could possibly say here is I was a little bit earlier on the mental health side of things than you, who's a big proponent now.
Oh,
and I feel like it's been unfairly kind of portrayed.
Wow,
like
let's on the mental health.
We could talk about Anderson Silva getting your comeback of the year after getting sparked in all his MMA fights.
Wait, comeback of the year and won.
In boxing, right?
Yeah, 2 fights he won. He reinvented himself.
How'd he do in MMA?
He didn't fight in MMA last year.
Yeah, so I mean, like...
What are you talking about? He won.
Your whole thing... Anyway, wait, I don't want to go down there.
Nah, the comeback fighter of the year is... You could go down that way if you want to say... I think what you're trying to imply is that I'm like a hypocrite or something.
I'm not trying to imply you're a hypocrite. What I'm saying is there were reasons that I gave that award that have been kind of like washed away now. It's been... represented as like, wow, she lost her fight. Well, that was what you were saying. I think it's been oversimplified.
In order to warrant the award, you have to show some kind of fortitude, have some kind of success.
Yeah, and I think
she was a corpse.
Again, I don't want to relitigate that. In the fight, yes. I want to... All I'm saying... Oh, God, I'm defending a take I had years ago.
No, it's not...
That's why I didn't want to open this can of worms.
By the way, the mental health thing, she was battling, like she had not conquered anything. So how could you be comeback if you haven't overcome?
I think that she probably did not want to take that fight. I think that she came into that fight.
This is a participation trophy. Thank you for showing up. That's what you're saying. You showed up.
I think she overcame some mental hurdles to get into the cage and fight there. Again, she didn't perform well.
Right.
See
what? No, she overcame, but she didn't show up. So at some point,
it was not
the comeback has to be like it went. People talk about the greatest comebacks
I disagree.
In NBA history and NFL history. These are awarded to people that overcome, right, and succeed, have some level of success. There was no success other than showing up, literally showing up, not doing a single interview, not talking to anyone.
In the case of that,
looking different, looking shell-shocked before the fight even started.
Here's how I'm going to end this. In hindsight, would I have ever done that again? No, because of the long-lasting.
Forget about the By the way, I'm so happy that you did it because of the long lasting.
I know.
But
I know. I love how you said I'm going to end this. Like it's going to.
in retrospect, the reason why you shouldn't have done it was because she wasn't the rightful winner of said award.
Do you even remember who the one was?
I wish I could remember. Let's see. 2016. That is kind of a funny footnote that no one seems to remember who the actual winner.
Because again, the facts of this have been smudged a little bit. My point is,
I don't really agree with that.
I think she was battling some demons there. And I think there was here's what I'll say. There was an element of bravery shown in taking that fight. That's all I'll say. And going to that fight.
Is that worthy of comeback fighter of the year?
For me, it was that year. And again, my point, and I made the point at the time, I was pointing to that. Obviously the performance sucked. I get it. Amanda Nunes starched her. I understand. Like that was not the point. But if in hindsight, would I pick that again and try to get that take out there? Probably not. But it was a mental health focused thing. It was not because of the performance. Obviously, like I think that has been lost over the how many years ago is that now?
2016. By the way, check out this guest list for the 2016 MMA Hour Awards. Chuck Mindenhall, Mike Dolce, Cody Garbrandt.
Was he like trainer?
Cody Garbrandt, who had just beaten Dominic.
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson.
Oh wow.
And Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Wow.
And by the way, the Khabib one was when he hadn't fought in a while, and I remember it. He was in a restaurant when he did this, and everyone was like, "Stop having this guy on!
Yes,
Stop! He's made of glass. Enough of Khabib."
Now he's everybody's goat.
Now he's everyone's goat. I'm seeing like various things. Tim Elliott, I think, because he was part of that tough season where he came back and got the title shot.
He was the comeback. Is that what?
Remember when they brought back?
Yeah, and that's a good one. That's a good answer.
I mean, yeah, because he won something.
Yeah. See, that doesn't hold water with me. You picked a boxer for your comeback.
Come on, he's not a boxer. Anderson was a boxer.
Come on. Oh, wait a minute. So now you're telling me Anderson has big appeal, huh?
Yeah.
He's a draw. He's somebody that people care about.
Yes. Yeah. In 2010. By the way, we'll end it on this note, and perhaps we should all be watching Tough. Have you guys been watching Tough?
No. I'm gonna get around to it.
Yeah, right. You're gonna get around to it.
We had this discussion last week.
You gotta pay him. Remember? Just throw some money at him. And
this from Jedi. Actually, this kind of blows my mind. In a way, he's right. Tough is doing open scoring.
Wait, what?
The fights are only 2 rounds. After 2 rounds, if it's tied, they go to the 3rd round.
That's not
modified.
It's kind of open scoring.
It's not.
Modified. I actually feel like Tough deserves a lot of credit for being visionaries.
Oh God! All right, get out of here. We're done. This is.
I think we should all start watching Tough. We're gonna do breakdowns on Wednesday. When does Tough air?
Yes, If we start doing breakdowns, I'm down to watch it.
All right.
If ever there was a point that open scoring has been implemented and has been insignificant, that was it right there. You just proved the point.
Can you bet? Can you bet on Tough?
No, because
it's taped, right?
Recorded.
That'd be very PFL-esque.
Oh boy.
Ooh,
Frank.
I like that. That was nice.
Rim shot or gunshot? What are we doing?
Something? No. What? Wow.
Oh yeah, dude. Frankie.
You crushing a prime right now?
Who, me? Yeah. It's kind of.
Oh, did he kill the music?
Nice.
No, you could have gone with the music. It was fine.
Go with the music.
Yeah. We got nothing to do. Hey, shout out to Aljamain Sterling. Received a hero's welcome in his hometown parade over in Nassau County. How about that? A lot of haters. Very upset.
We could native Long Islander.
Yeah, look at you.
My man, Aljamain.
Is that close to where you live?
Yeah, we all should have gone.
Yes, it is close to where I live.
We should have done it. We should have did the show from
Live
there.
Show, yes. Live show from the parade.
We're coming at you live from Uniondale High School in Nassau County.
When the Long Island event is going, you're more than welcome to broadcast from my house. It's a little echoey as we've determined.
We fixed that, Frank. What's going on with the microphone? Now I feel like we did the music too soon. Yes.
I have to say something. I sound check with Frank and Joe every time. So horrendous. I don't want to hear anybody blaming me for the mic quality.
Frank,
audio guy.
Can we fix this?
Audio guy right here.
Did you get furniture in your house yet? No furniture in the house?
That's the problem.
I got the couch,
that was cavernous last time, but it'll get better.
We sound checked.
Yeah.
Are we just going to re-rack this music again?
No, I think we're just going to play it out. We'll go to this camera. It's weird to play it out with that. Bye, guys. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday. the audio has been a little comme ci, comme ça. But it's been a great day, my friends. Wow, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Mariusz Pudzianowski. I'm trying to reprogram my brain. 20 years of saying Pudzianowski. It's Pudzianowski. Why didn't anyone correct me? Thank you very much to him. Thank you very much to Glover Teixeira and Valentina Shevchenko. Good luck to them on June 11th. And thank you very much to Chase Hooper. Great stuff from him. We're back on Wednesday, my friends. Same time and place. Until then, we say peace.